see how he handles himself amid growing concern about his mental acuity and his fitness for office. The president's personal physician has released a letter stating that a neurologist has examined Mr. Biden during his routine physicals and has detected no signs of Parkinson's disease or any related conditions. Watching Wall Street this morning, the Dow futures up 6 points. NASDAQ futures ahead 59 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
You just grin and bear it or bite the bullet when it comes to everyday pain? Don't. Try Relief Factor, a drug-free daily supplement that helps your body fight pain naturally. Relief Factor doesn't just mask pain, it helps reduce or even eliminate it. It's 100% drug-free. It's developed by doctors. In 3 weeks or less, you'll know whether it works for you like it works for me. Try Relief Factor for yourself. Go to relieffactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF and save on your first order. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF.
What does it take for organizations to triumph? It takes the trust of people like you. And that's why an estimated 14 million givers look for the ECFA seal. Over 2,700 leading ministries across the U.S. display ECFA seal, demonstrating that they live up to biblical standards of financial accountability, responsible governance, and trust. So next time you donate, look for the ECFA seal, a widely recognized symbol of trust. Visit ecfa.org/trust to learn more.
Chinese officials say an investigation's underway into allegations that some tanker trucks carry toxic chemicals as well as food products.
There's been outrage on Chinese social media following reports in state-owned news here that tanker trucks transporting coal oil and other toxic materials have then been carrying cooking oil immediately after, without being cleaned properly in between. The practice is said to have been so widespread that it's been considered an open secret in the industry, according to a tanker driver quoted in the Beijing news. In China, tankers are not limited to any particular type of goods, so can in theory carry food products straight after they've transported coal-based oils. Government officials say they're now investigating.
The BBC's Stephen McDonnell in Beijing. Hundreds of newly elected lawmakers are gathering in Britain's parliament after the election that brought a Labour government to power in the UK. News and analysis, townhall.com. Iran has them, and so does Afghanistan. The morality police said to inspire fear and dread among Afghans, which is, after all, apparently their mission.
According to a new UN report, which underlines that edicts and some of the methods used to enforcement disproportionately impacting women and girls constitutes a violation of human rights and fundamental freedoms. The Taliban had set up a ministry for the propagation of virtue and the prevention of vice after seizing power in 2021. The UN mission in Afghanistan goes on. Human rights violations, as well as the unpredictability of enforcement measures, contribute to a climate of fear and intimidation among segments of the population. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
Israeli forces report advancing deeper into the Gaza Strip's largest city. They say they're pursuing terrorists who have regrouped in that area. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome to it. Sunny, not too hot yet. It's a good day so far.
I was going to re-jigger these things when I get in here.
Oh, we had a bevy of people in here yesterday, so there. You got nothing? Let me do this.
Nothing. Ha! There we are.
I got the magic hands.
Look at you.
Me and this board.
Dang.
We have flaws, but we love you.
That's right. It's all about finding that connection.
That's right. It's kind of like the old cars.
Mm-hmm.
Like you had your old car, especially when in your younger days, and you're like, it's just a beater, but it's your beater,
right?
And you're like, no, she's great. You just got to hit her a certain way to get it to
jiggle the key before you turn it.
Do a little dance, and she purrs like a kitten.
And what's funny is when somebody else tries to drive that car and they can't make it work, you're the one that gets frustrated. You're like, I told you, jiggle the keys before you try to start it.
Yeah.
That's a wiggle, not a jiggle.
Listen.
You got 3 clicks, 1 pop, and then turn. Okay?
Someone needs to pay attention to detail.
I still love, it makes me laugh every time when people are like, they don't make cars with crank windows anymore. Oh, do they not?
I own one.
Yeah. Like, those old school cars when you had the crank windows.
And my car is not that old.
No, it's a 2020.
Yours newer than mine.
Yeah.
Mine's 2018.
Sorry, kids, they do make them. It's called the economy line, or, a Jeep if you want to be rugged.
Well,
real men don't get rotator cuff injuries.
Well, and there was method to my madness when I did it, because Jeeps are, you could rip off the doors and the top and all that stuff. And the logic was power windows, power locks means more stuff that could go wrong while you're pulling the doors apart and everything else. Old cranky works like a champ.
That's right. Yeah, I have power locks. Hey, lock that before you get out.
That's right.
That's power right there.
I ain't gonna lie, the power locks would be convenient because I'm like, I gotta go around and
yeah, but you only ever have one person in your car max.
Yeah, but like sometimes I'll have to get something out of the back seat and I'm like, and I gotta wedge my hand through because there's no key fobs or not fobs. Fobs, like my car has a fob. A key slot in the back door. I hope you just didn't tune in for that one line. But
and yeah, there's parts of me that get a little, twinge of jealousy when I see somebody with their automatic start cars. They're like, they'll walk up to it and they'll start it up.
See, and I just look to the other side of my garage and there's my wife's car.
It's got all the bells.
It's got heated and cooled seats. It's got power locks and power starts and power. It's got cameras. It's got a overview camera so she can see and she's probably not awake and fully up yet. That thing's a crutch. I don't care what he says, because when she goes into parking lots now, she goes to a crawl to put that camera on and is like, and it's like she's parking a cruise ship in the dock here. You know what I mean? It's like, what are we doing here?
It is true. You lose a certain level of instinct when you let your car do it for you.
Yeah.
Like you got to kind of feel it out, just especially, and I watch this all weekend. That's one of the most fun things to do UFO Festival weekend is watch people attempt to parallel park. And boy, they're bad at it. People are just terrible at trying to park.
Oh, if you really want to have some fun, just sit on our sidewalk out here and watch people. I've seen all kinds of mangled things get hit in the curbs. People are. I'm telling y'all, lucky I'm not governor, because y'all public transportation would be reeling in the cash because y'all would not be having licenses if I was in charge. I'd be like, nope.
It's weirdly prohibitive to get a license in New Mexico. I don't know what happened. Governor Winters.
That's right.
He even still goes by the name.
It's easier to get a master's degree in New Mexico than a driver's license when I'm governor. I love saying.
What's that? You want to drive? How about spell the word business?
Nope. I'd put him through a NASCAR-like driver's course, signaling and say, it would be,
They were cones!
Yeah, just like wedding. Yep. That's what I do.
But yeah, you do lose a little bit of the skill of it when you let the car do it for you.
Yeah. And not that I'm saying it's nice to have a backup camera once. I don't have one, but I could see it being nice.
See, now that to me seems like something that a Jeep should have.
Yeah.
And I thought it was actually like mandated after 2018 that all vehicles have a backup camera on them.
Someone didn't get that memo to my Jeep.
Like, I feel like that's the only reason I have a backup camera, because everything else on my car is standard.
Well, maybe it was 2019 or 2020, because 2018, my Jeep does not have it. So I have to do the old turn the head.
I even made the point, like early on in the ownership of my car, how odd I thought it was that I could reach my foot down to the bottom of my, like the basin of where my, gas and brake pedal are, and I could feel the steering column.
Nice.
Like when I was turning my wheel, I could actually feel it moving. I'm like, yeah, this is a ghetto car. I'm fully aware of that. And yet I have a backup camera. So
Think of it as light.
Yeah. Exactly.
Speed.
It's a kit car.
That's right.
With a shinier coat of paint.
Oh man. I just had a thought about a show, but it's not for Radio Share. Just popped in the head as you're talking about kit. I was like, another time. Let me give you the rundown for today. Yes. We do have a bevy of stuff for you for today's show. We're going to replay an interview this hour. Yesterday in the 9 o'clock hour, we had Denise Trowbridge join us with the Conquistador Council with Scouting USA, which I've got to train my brain to say, because I'm so used to saying Boy Scouts, because, I don't know, I'm 15. That's how I've known it my whole life.
Sure.
So, give me a minute. I might mess that up a time or 12.
Well, and it just changed too, so you got to give us some transition time.
That's right. But anyway, so Denise joined us yesterday, so we'll play that interview here in just a few minutes. Minutos. By the way, unfortunately, Clyde Lewis had some flight issues getting out of town, and he's still in town.
Oh, really?
Good morning, Clyde. He's probably sleeping 7:13.
They never got out?
No, they stayed the night, and they're going to try to hoof it to Albuquerque today, I believe. Anyway, they got some flight because of the weather in Dallas and everything. A bunch of flights got delayed and canceled and everything yesterday. So
that's and I understand that flights will have layovers and things like that. That never made sense to me. And I know it's a bigger airport, fine. We have to fly to Dallas to get to Portland. It just seems very counterintuitive, like it's just wrong. We have to go to Newark, New Jersey to get to Honolulu, Hawaii.
Yep. Well, you think that's bad? Ride a bus. like if you want to go from I've heard stories of just going from here to Lubbock, which is a 3-hour trip by vehicle, like an all-day affair on a bus.
Yeah.
Because I guess there's stops and things, and because it's not direct. I guess I don't know, but so I guess airplanes aren't so bad when you compare them to other things.
I watched a video of a guy take a Greyhound bus from New York to L.A.
Yeah,
and it took 5 days. He documented the whole thing. It was a nightmare.
Yeah. And then if you think about it, I think if you send a package or a piece of mail to Roswell from Albuquerque, it's going to go to Lubbock before it comes here.
I'm pretty sure if you send a piece of mail to Roswell from Roswell, it leaves town first. Yeah.
So explain those. But anyway, what reminded me of all that with Clyde is so while he was hanging out here yesterday, and I was recording some more audio for cuts and bits and skits and what have you, and Clyde did a bunch of his promo in Espanol.
He did.
So when I might need help editing, because there's mistakes I know, but I don't know what the mistakes are. So I might have to get one of our Espanol fluent speaking friends here to help me out on that one.
Estás escuchando ground zero.
Oh, you got his notes there.
Arrayar soy Clyde Lewis.
Yeah.
Clyde Lewis. Wow, dude. I mean, I've read your handwriting. This is rough. Did you read this?
I did not. It's a man.
I think it's a radio, because I have the handwriting of a 7-year-old too.
And doctors and DJs.
I've tried to explain. That's why I don't write letters, because you won't be able to read the letters that I write.
Well, I haven't wrote cursive since school. I don't write cursive. I never have since unless they made me in school. I just don't do cursive.
Or those people who do part cursive and it's part print. I'm like how do you?
To be honest, I'd have to think to do cursive now. I think like if someone said, "Hey, write this sentence in cursive," I'm like, "Oh, give me a minute." It's been a minute since.
Do you sign your name in cursive?
Yeah.
Well, so you know some of it.
Yeah. Okay. So if all right, so those whatever letters in my name, but I'll be like, Z.
Yeah.
How's that Q go again? Oh no.
Back when I used to go by Sean Smalls with a Z, it was very. I had to sit there and be like, it's like a 2, okay?
Yeah. Z. Like, man, why can't I have that thing like in school around the top of the room? So I can go, Z.
You're married to a second grade teacher. I'm pretty sure you have access to that.
Okay. Full disclosure, that's in my bedroom.
There you go. Right over a picture of President. It was always President Washington and Lincoln. Like they always skip the other 14.
That's right.
13.
And then there's a U.S. flag above the closet. So it's like, weirdly enough, a pencil sharpener too. I don't know.
Not a pencil in our house.
But it's not even like an electric one. It's the old school on the wall.
Dude, I was thinking about, and I know we're getting way off topic, but I was thinking about this yesterday. There is not much better smells in the world than the smell of sharpening a pencil.
Yeah.
That wood that comes off of. I love that. That's right up there with fresh cut grass.
Hey, maybe when my wife cleans out her pencil sharpener shavings, I can hand you
put it in a candle.
Baggie of shavings to you.
Sean brought you a baggie of shavings.
That's what you're craving.
Oh, it ain't gonna get better than that.
I was doing the rundown. I got somewhere stuck in the middle there. So we left off at Denise Replay. We're going to do that this hour. Dr. Sean Powell with ENMUR is going to join us in the 8 o'clock hour. And then on the phone, we'll have Amy McVeigh-Tejas with the Historical Society. She's got something going on over at the museum, so she can't leave the museum. But she can join us on the phone for a few. Tonight is Dine to Donate night at Texas Roadhouse with the Historical Society. If you print off their flyer, which you can find on their Facebook page. If you get a hold of Amy, she can get it to you. There's various and numerous ways to get a hold of that flyer. And bring it with you or have a digital copy of it with you when you go to Texas Roadhouse tonight. You can do it for to-go or dine-in or whatever. Portion of your meal's cost will go back to the Historical Society, but that's tonight. But we'll talk with Amy about that and other things happening with the Historical Society, of course, Heritage Dinner and all that good news and good events coming up too. So before we do any of that, let's go ahead and get you up to date on the weather. I got to sharpen some pencils. We'll be back in 42.
Weather is brought to you by Bob Reed Pest Control. Bob Reed Pest Control. Protect your home from pests that invade. Call Bob Reed Pest Control today. 575-623-5344.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. An isolated shower or thunderstorm may pop up later on today. We will be getting a lot of sunshine, though. Afternoon highs mainly in the low 90s. We do have some moist air coming in overnight from the southwest, and that may bring us a few showers and thunderstorms. Our low should be in the upper 60s. A little bit better chance of those afternoon showers and thunderstorms on Wednesday, partly sunny, mid-90s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 69 degrees and fair, to be fair, here in Roswell. Humidity is at 61% with winds out of the north at 5 miles per hour. Sunny and a high of 95 today. No speak of the rain during the daylight hours. Winds will be out of the south 5 to 10 miles per hour. For tonight, there is a 20% chance at showers and thunderstorms. They're talking like before 3 a.m., so like late, like after you go to bed late is what it's looking like here. Mostly cloudy with an overnight low of 69 degrees. Winds will be out of the southwest 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow, the rain chances are better. We are looking at a 50% chance of showers and thunderstorms for the afternoon. They do throw in the caveat that some of these storms could be severe in nature. Increasing clouds with a high of 94 tomorrow. Northwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. New rainfall amounts less than a tenth of an inch of rain unless we get one of those thunderstorms. 30% chance of rain for tomorrow night, mainly before midnight. Once again, some storms could be severe. Partly cloudy with an overnight low of 67 degrees. Southwest winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Thursday, we're looking at a 30% chance of afternoon showers and thunderstorms. Mostly sunny, 94 for a high. Winds out of the southeast,
5 to 10 miles per hour. Sunny and 96 for your Friday. Saturday, sunny and 96. And Sunday, might be familiar with this, mostly sunny, 96 for a high. So other than tomorrow, we're looking pretty even keel, other than the rain tomorrow here. All right, 7:21, we're going to take a quick break. Then we're going to play our interview we had with Denise Trowbridge from the Conquistador Council with Scouting USA. That's up next. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Good morning, this is Smiley Wooten at the Roswell Livestock Auction. 1,092 head of cattle sold on Monday on an uneven market with excellent buyer attendance compared to 2 weeks ago. Stocker calves sold steady to 12 higher, feeder cattle steady to 5 lower, packer cows and bulls steady to $2 higher. 3 to 400 pound steers $366 $402, 3 to 400 pound heifers $3 $337, 4 to 500 pound steers $310 $366, 4 to 500 pound heifers $275 $3, 5 to 600 pound steers $262 $310, 5 to 600 pound heifers $245 $275, 6 700 pound steers $243 $262, 6 700 pound heifers $210 $245, 7 800 pound steers $220 $243, 7 800 pound heifers $2 $210, packer cows $135 $147, canner and cutter cows $125 $128, packer bulls $165 $172, feeder bulls $145 $155, the cow calf pairs top half $2,100 to $2,400 per pair, top half the bred cow $1,700 to $1,900 per head. We do appreciate the business. We'll talk to you next Monday morning. Keep praying for some rain. This is Smiley Wooten, Roswell Livestock Auction.
Attention Roswell and surrounding areas. Celebrate freedom. Celebrate huge savings with 0% financing. More for your trade and no payments till October during the Red, White, and Blue sales event at the all-new Roswell Ford. With new management and a whole new attitude, Roswell Ford makes trading up to a new Ford or quality pre-owned vehicle fast, fun, and easy. Upside down in your loan or stuck in your lease, Roswell Ford wants to get you released, even if you owe thousands more than your trade is worth, regardless of make, miles, or condition. Right now, get huge savings with rates as low as 0% for 66 months. Plus, we have a great selection of low-mileage, one-owner pre-owned vehicles, all in prime condition, starting at just $10,000. Don't settle for a low-quality, overpriced clunker. Buy a quality pre-owned vehicle from Roswell Ford for a lot less. Worried about your credit? Don't sweat it. We've partnered with the most aggressive lenders that will push to approve you today, even with bad or no credit. Lower prices, exceptional trade-in values, and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford, 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell, or online at roswellford.com. $15.15 per thousand finance on select new Ford models with approved credit.
Edge Safety and Services, LLC in Artesia, New Mexico has an immediate opening for roustabout crew and a safety technician. Position requires a clean driving record and must be able to pass a drug and alcohol screening. Edge Safety offers great pay with IRA benefits and employer contribution towards health benefits. Please email resumes to edgecoding@yahoo.com or apply in person at 2801 North Freeman in Artesia. Edge Safety and Services is an equal opportunity employer.
Playing dance music can help ward off mosquitoes. Now you have a reason to invite Pitbull to your next pool party. Here's Mike Winters.
Good morning. It is 27 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from the Conquistador Council here with Scouts, Boy Scouts of America, Denise Trowbridge back with us. Good morning, Denise.
Hey, Mike. Thanks for having me today.
Anytime, as always. And, of course, Scouting's got a lot going on right now. Pretty busy, you know. Of course, with the Conquistador Council, a lot of anniversary type events going on and things now. So there's kind of a lot of milestones in scouting in this part of the country.
Absolutely. Right now. The first and foremost, it's worth mentioning, we've rebranded.
Yeah.
May 1st, and we're in the midst of rebranding to Scouting America.
Yes, that's why I'm having trouble with boys. In my head, it's so time. Boy Scouts. It's just BSA, but Scouting America, and obviously. The major change here because they've incorporated females into the scouting program now. Yeah. So Boy Scouts doesn't quite fit the name anymore.
We're definitely inclusive. It's family scouting.
Yeah.
And actually, the name change, we're kind of late to the game. Most other countries have been scouting and then the country's name for many years.
Sure.
So
and to be honest and fair, Boy Scouts of America has been co-ed a lot longer than people realize.
Yes.
As far as the Cub Scout and Boy Scout programs, those were traditionally male programs. Mm-hmm. But once the kids get a little older, there's venturing and scouting
and exploring
posts. Mm-hmm. And these are posts that are geared for older kids, but they're they're gender fluid. You know, they have exploring posts that may deal, like if you're back, say in the East Coast or West Coast, they might have sailing where they deal with sailing, or like police explorers. You'll see here things, and those are women and men, they're girls and boys. They're not all just boys. And so scouting, Boy Scouts, has been co-ed really for a lot longer than most people realize. Now they've incorporated females into the Cub and Boy Scout program.
Yeah, and like I said, I really try to explain it as it's family scouting. It's not just kids that make the program work, it's the adults too.
Well, and I remember in scouting, particularly at the younger levels, you know, because you kind of think of it in, dad goes on the camping trips and you know, mom, and that's not really true. Mom, like, yes, in Cub Scouts, it's more mom driven. At least it was when I went through and when I was younger. You know, moms tend to be the dead mothers.
You'd be surprised.
But that's
everything's changed. And it's not just parents. Now there's grandparents that bring their kids to the program because it's such an important part of those kids growing up together.
But even growing up in Scouts when I was younger, and granted, I'm in my 50s now, so it was a few years ago, but there was a lot of women leadership in, you know, assistant and scoutmasters and the adult side, you know, as well too. So yes, we always think of gender roles and some of this stuff, but it never really was that way in Scouts. Yes, it's Boy Scouts, but my adult leaders, you know, were, you know, women and men, and you know, camp counselors, women and men. You know, when I'm the youngest kid, I go to Boy Scout camp, and guess who's our camp counselors? You go in the nature aquatics, and there's females there doing, you know, explorers and doing their things. And
we can teach everybody to become leaders if they want to put in the effort.
Yeah, scouting has been a lot more more co-ed than people realize.
Absolutely.
But now it's official with the name changing and the branding and everything. It's official. Scouting here is doing. And by the way, we do have both female and Boy Scout troops here in town. So if you are looking to be involved, we can get you right away to one of our troops that are looking for new scouts.
Most importantly, anybody that has been involved in the past, now is a great time to get back involved.
Sure.
Even if your kids are grown and gone, we have spots for everybody. We're actually about to have a nice alumni reunion.
Yeah, that's kind of coming up here in August next month, which is next month, by the way.
That's
We're
right.
full into July now.
It's a great way to get reintroduced into the program and meet folks that you've been involved with in the past and re-engage.
Yeah, so if you're a scout as a kid or adult leader in your younger days, or still involved in scouting now, we'd love to have you come out. Or, you know, I was in Troop 8 back in the 60s or whatever it was. You know, come on down.
So we're going to have an alumni reunion on August 3rd, Saturday, August 3rd at the American Legion in Artesia. It's Post 41.
Okay.
And it's going to be in the evening from 5 to 7 p.m.
Okay.
It's going to be free for kids, but we're really encouraging adults to come out and re-engage and fellowship around scouting.
Well, and that's the thing with scouting. You know, yes, we want to bring as many young people into the organization and learn and experience the values and all the cool things that scouting has to offer. But none of that happens without the support of the adults and the parents. Scouting is very much a family event. Just because the child's involved in scouting, it's really the whole family. Mom and dad are equally as much a part of that. Sometimes they're serving as chaperones and leadership on the various events and trips and things. Sometimes it's just making sure that the kids got everything they need to go to camp, you know, but it's very much active and part of that. And so, you know, and when your child succeeds in scouting, it's all family, you know, as they get more merit badges, more rank, and, you know, maybe they pursue Eagle Scout. Family's very much involved in it.
And the adults build lasting relationships with their counterparts in scouting, just like the kids do.
I look so fondly at the adult leaders from my youth. They and still friends with some of them to this day, thanks to social media and stuff. Not all of them are with us anymore. I've lost a few since then. You know, time does, people get older and happens. But I will never forget some of the coolest adults I remember growing up as a kid were assistant scoutmasters and den mothers and everything that were, you know, influential and part of the fun of my scouting experience. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So this is an opportunity to get back in touch with those people, to fellowship face to face in person and reconnect.
Absolutely.
A lot of our former scout leaders and cub masters from years ago are elderly now, and so they need a reason to get out of the house. So what better reason to get in front of people that still care about them?
Come share your stories, your experiences. Come meet people that you may have not seen in a 20 or 30 years here or more in some cases. See where they are now, and kind of that's kind of cool. Like if you ever get a chance to go to the Conquistador Scout headquarters here in town on Aspen, by the way, more than welcome. If you need to they have a store there if you need to get uniforming and camping needs and stuff. But they do have the Eagle Scout patio that's kind of part of that facility there. And this reunion kind of, in a nutshell, reminds me of a patio, a in-person version of that patio. Because every time every year we honor the new Eagle Scouts of the Conquistador Council. Each year we get a list of names. Sometimes it's 2, sometimes it's a dozen. But to each year's class. But they're there. The names are there since the inception of the Conquistador Council. And so who knows? Maybe we could see a few of those names that are etched in on that patio come out and see where they are now. And, what have you done with yourself since your days as an Eagle Scout?
I sure hope so. That Eagle Scout patio dedication that we do in February, I also thought it was kind of cool. We had Eagle Scouts from years ago come back and see their name that they hadn't seen since the patio dedication.
Since the day they were probably scouts themselves, doing the ceremony, telling everybody about themselves and doing their thing here. And so that's why we want to make sure we get as many people to get involved with this reunion as possible, especially if you were a scout in Southeast New Mexico at any point. But if you're in scouting in general, I mean, like for me, my scouting experience is all back east because that's where I grew up. But it's all the same.
Yeah, a part of the thing I always tell people about, I moved here to Roswell not knowing a soul. Yeah. I don't have any friends here, but being a part of the scouting organization, I immediately had a tribe.
Sure, yeah. And because you chew the same dirt, know the same things. And this is why I always will be a champion for scouting. It's yes, there's so much fun, and your kids get to see and do things that they probably will never get to do in a different environment. I can certainly say that. I would have never gone to Australia and not been for scouts and things. But that's the front of the picture. To me, scouting is, especially in the world and day and age we live in, you need to equip your children with as much tools as possible to whatever path they do as adults, they're equipped to do it. And scouting is all about, the motto is be prepared. That, in this day and age, that statement has more importance now than ever.
Sitting behind a screen does not prepare us for life.
Exactly. And scouting does that, through the 12 points and everything that they recite at every meeting and say at every meeting.
It's an affirmation. You believe what you say.
But they live and imbibe these and they show examples of how to do these things every day. And they do it in everything. It's if your kid's into computers, they can apply that into computers. And of course, all of them through scouting, it's survival skills, basic first aid, basic, maybe you're not into camping. That's one really facet of scouting. There's so much other sides. Now, don't get me wrong. A lot of it is learned around a camp table, but the camping is the environment. It's the experiences, the lessons. Like when they go to Wahinape for a week, they're learning so many things and getting exposed to so many things that they don't get to do.
Getting to build relationships from other scouts from all over the country.
Exactly.
It's so cool to go up there and visit. I've had the opportunity to meet folks from all over the country that come to our little spot in Wahinape.
Yeah, and that's kind of the cool thing too, because each councils, some have bigger camps, but generally there's a camp that serves every council in the United States of America. Some are bigger than others, but that's the beauty of it. Sometimes, like for me, technically our home camp was Goshen Scout Camp in Virginia, and it's a huge camp and it's big and it's probably one of the largest camps in the country. But when you go to the same camp every year, especially been in scouting, you kind of know the routine after a while. And so I remember as a scout going to other scout camps in New York and Pennsylvania and other places, and they were similar but different. Like, yes, we had the campfire on one night. We had, the flow of things is similar,
but they all have different seasonings,
different stories, different
traditions, different, songs they sing, different. Some are the same. I mean, you do the chicken song at any scout camp in the country, but
Bar mitzvahs too.
Grand Old Dookie Org is in every camp in the country, but you know what I mean. And so you get to see things a little bit, and so that's the cool part is you go to Wahenipe, and there's scouts from probably Texas, California, Utah, Colorado. That they said, we're going to go to Wahenipe for the summer instead of our camp in Texas or our camp in California.
I love coming here and seeing how excited you get about scouting because it definitely feeds through the radio.
I lived it. I lived scouting. Scouting is my life. My whole childhood, scouting was a very big part of it.
And we need to express that it's even more important nowadays that kids, families get involved because it's a reason to connect with your kids.
Right. I will tell you, like my transition to adulthood, yes, my parents did a great job raising me and all that, but preparing me for military life, preparing me for it's all through scouting, through the lessons learned in scouting. I am an Eagle Scout, and the project and the responsibility, everything that kind of the weight that put on me prepared me for when I transitioned into military life. And now I've got a 2,000-pound explosive sitting in front of me, and it's because I learned how to lead and organize planting some flowers and trees that translated to that in scouts. That's why I think scouting is so important. It deliberately puts kids out of their comfort zone in a safe environment, but gets them. I have a great fear of heights. To this day now, you're not going to catch me rock climbing voluntarily. I won't. But I've done these things because of scouting, and I overcame. I'm still not a fan of heights, but I climbed a pole like a logger, in scouts. I rock climbed and rappelled, even though I have no earthly desire to, because scouts, and I overcame that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not looking to go rock climbing, but at least I say, you know what? I did it. That's not as scary as I thought. I don't like it, but
coping skills. That's one thing that kids are suffering with. It leads to all kinds of disheartening things that happen to kids.
Absolutely.
So teaching them on the front end how to cope, how to be a leader, it gives them confidence where they don't fall into those traps.
And there's so many different merit badges and programs through scouting that they can find interest through scouting. And it's not all just, and it's so much. It's everything from the latest in computers and graphic design technology to your tried and true stamp collecting and things that are, don't involve technology. And all of that fosters and garners interest or careers.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe your child grows up to do one thing, but because of their time in scouts, they have just an affinity for collecting a certain thing or something.
A different hobby. Yeah.
And it was because of scouts that they do that.
Well, one of the other things I wanted to share with you today is I have been busy meeting all of the leaders here in Roswell, and I have the beginnings of 3 new exploring posts.
Oh, great. Excellent. So more opportunities for some of the older kids to get involved in scouting. Absolutely.
Yeah. So exploring is 14 to 20 years old.
Yeah. It's kind of designed to get to kids around the time where other things in life start to enter and distract a little bit. And this is to give them a chance to experience those things, but at the same time, experience life as a teenager and everything else.
What I've kind of figured out in having conversations, putting these together, is a lot of times kids at this age only know their parents' job.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And if you only know your parents' job, you think that that's the only thing that you're supposed to do.
I'm going to grow up to be or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah. But getting them engaged with other career fields that are right here in our community, I think is really important. And it might not be the career that they go into, but at least they're expressing interest.
Well, and who knows? Whatever they learn or get to experience there, what does that translate into whatever they ultimately decide to do?
So we're working on 3 exploring posts, and there's going to be a lot of feed between the posts.
Okay.
So we have a lot of volunteers that are going to be serving in multiple posts.
And since these are forming, and they're kind of finding their own niche here. So, and that will happen once the explorers get involved and sign up and make it their own.
Right.
So the identity of these explorer posts, they're going to have a specific theme to each, but
It's really driven by their interests.
Where it goes next is entirely up to the explorers involved in it.
So let me tell you what I got.
All right.
We have a medical exploring post.
Okay, so
that's
maybe
being sponsored by Lovelace.
So some youth out there that may be looking to pursue careers in medical,
and that's a big, broad field.
Oh yeah, could anything from phlebotomist to doctor to surgeon to
physical therapy, mental health. There's all kinds of stuff that falls within the medical, and then. We also have a fire and EMS post that's being supported by the Roswell Fire Department.
Excellent.
Thank you, Matt Miller.
Excellent.
And then thirdly, we have an aviation post.
Excellent.
Yeah, and that's being sponsored by Cavu Aerospace and Eastern New Mexico University Roswell.
Excellent.
So in the midst of all of that, we have volunteers from AMR, which is the ambulance service.
Emergency services.
We have volunteers from Lovelace, and we have volunteers from Trans Aero Medevac.
Excellent.
So they have a hand in all three of the posts.
Yeah, because those folks, they got the airplanes and the helicopters that move folks. And so this is a great opportunity for these young people to kind of get involved with that.
Explore and career opportunities.
Exactly. Maybe they're thinking, I always wanted to be a firefighter. Okay, join the Explorer post. It may cement and say, yeah, this is it. But then they may say, you know what, this is not what I thought it was. Maybe I need to try something else. And that's the beauty of Explorers is, if they want to get it locked in and now they're just immersed into it and now they're going to, and to be honest, if they're involved with the firefighters or EMS Explorer post and they pursue a career in that, I imagine they're going to make a lot of connections and get a leg up for when it's time for their formal trainings and formal things they have to do to become these professions. They're going to have the wisdom and the connections to those people and a true knowledge of what they're going to do when they complete their certifications and are actually put in the workforce. And because unfortunately, a lot of people go through these things, go through the training, they get into the job, and in about a year in said, I hate this. And unfortunately, it's a lot harder to fix at that point. This is where your chance. You get these as early as 14. And the beauty of Explorer Post, and if I'm wrong, this is how it used to be. When you're in the Boy Scouts, once you turn 18, you're considered an adult. In Explorers, they go to 21, so they can still do quote-unquote youth activities until they're 21 years of age.
Correct. And exploring is not an achievement-based system the same way that Scouts is. It doesn't have ranks, but it's personal achievement. And these are skills that these kids can literally put on their professional resume at the end of school.
This is translatable skills. Like if you're trying to bolster your college applications, a lot of the bullet statements and experiences you're going to get through exploring will translate very nicely into those applications.
So the next question that most people have is, how do I sign up? So we're not to the point where we're ready to sign people up, but I do want for folks to visit exploring.org.
Okay.
Because all of the information about these different posts and what you need to know about the guts of the program is there. It's good information. And then in the first probably 2 to 3 weeks of school, I will be in the high schools. And I'll have some of these volunteers with me. I'll bring some firefighters and some nurses. And then we can start
actually getting names to lists here.
Exactly. And at that point, we'll do a career interest survey where those kids can tell us exactly what they're interested in. Because if we have kids that are interested in, the mechanical or engineering end of aviation, we're not going to focus on piloting. But if we have kids that are interested in piloting, then we'll do more. So we tailor the program to what the kids are interested in.
And I would even, if there's folks listening out here that maybe as adults and things, maybe you could be the one that spawns the next idea for an Explorer post. Like you mentioned welding earlier. There's a lot of welders here. I'm sure there's enough people, enough interest that we could have an Explorer post devoted to nothing but welding and that kind of thing, or heating and air conditioning, or fishing. I mean, it doesn't have to be even job related per se. Maybe it's more of a social.
There's opportunities to open exploring posts for ecology, business, law, government, anything that pertains to real life jobs that are out there. We can start an exploring post around.
That kind of works to that, and you kind
of think of it as like the merit badges come to life.
Exactly. like I was involved for a brief bit in Sea Explorers for a little bit, and
again, I grew up in Maryland. We had
where there's water,
and stuff. So out here, Sea Scouts is a little bit trickier to pull off in the middle of New Mexico. But but anyway, so I was a part of that, and to be honest, a lot of that translated into scouting because you can't sail unless you know how to tie knots. That's just part of a sailor's tool bag is knot tying abilities, and there's so many knots that are named after sailing related experiences and things. So a lot of it was knot tying, but yeah, you go out in the boats and do kind of thing, and so you get a chance to sail a boat by yourself. And I mean, it's how many 15-year-olds get to do that?
Not many.
Unless you grew up in that world, you don't really get to do those things, and that's what explorers. So if you're, especially with the fire EMT, you probably get behind the scenes in all the firehouses.
Oh, we're gonna get to use all the tools,
the equipment, and seeing the training aspects. They just don't show up one day and give them a hat and a coat and say you're a firefighter. You got to learn the jobs and the safety and the dangers and all of that stuff. And as an explorer, you get to, and to be honest, who knows where that leads? Maybe they get to, go on calls and be in the background and watch them work while they're dealing with certain fires and things like that. That's all on the table here is what this could be. That's so. If you're interested, and same with aviation, I mean, this could turn into a Civil Air Patrol thing, and they partner, with up. The next thing you know, by the time these kids are aging out of the program, they've got flying hours and can pursue, they're that closer to getting a pilot's license because of all their time through explorers.
I have no doubt that the aviation industry in this town is going to grow exponentially.
Sure.
And the reason that CAVU was so interested in restarting this aviation post is because they need a way to recruit people.
Absolutely.
And what better way than give, a 14-year-old 4 years of training?
Sure.
I'd hire him right there.
Well, and I believe here, like if you look at the air industry right now, and you hear every time about flights and cancel, and like it's pretty chaotic right now.
Pilots retiring.
This is a workforce issue problem, is what it is, and COVID killed it. The experience and things we had, the people that were on the bubble of kind of about to retire, once COVID hit, they all disappeared. And so there was a huge void in air traffic control and maintenance and pilots and every
in the
aspect
medical
of
industry.
Every aspect of these skilled industries. And so I when you look on the news and every 4th of July or right around time, you're hearing about flight delays and these flights canceled. This is because we need more people in the industry. We need more pilots. We need more mechanics. We need more air traffic controllers. We need more personnel in the service side of the aviation industry.
So this is Scouting America's way of kind of trying to bridge that gap and fill the void by organizing volunteers and putting this program together. But it only is possible with volunteers, those adult volunteers that have the skills to pass along the knowledge. And not only does that apply to this exploring program, but also we're desperately looking for merit badge counselors.
I was about to transition. You did it for me.
We're working towards putting together a merit badge college, which is like a day-long event where somebody that has these skills can serve as a counselor to teach those skills to our scouts.
Absolutely. Get these and be kind of that mentor because depending on the merit badge, they've got to do, some are more involved than others depending on the merit badge. And so and some of these merit badges actually require sessions and things where they go to places and build and construct things and track things. So it's a little more than you just kind of teaching a little bit. It is a little bit more than that. But
this merit badge college that we're putting together in December that is a day-long event where they can at least get started in a lot of cases because they don't have access to TIG welders or, grinders or things like that.
And as they complete some of the tasks, they can get with you afterwards to get it signed off and things like that. That's what a merit badge counselor does. And it's a great way to serve scouting, and still be that mentor type role, but not the day-to-day scoutmasters and assistant scoutmasters and things like that.
Right.
This is a great, even if you don't have experience in scouting, but you have experience in your
plumbing,
welding, stamp collecting,
communications,
computers, first aid. These are the merit badges. Like
I sent you the list.
Yeah, I mean,
there's over hundreds of
yeah.
merit badges. And in all honesty, it really is up to the person and what their skills are. And
Sure.
we'll find a merit badge that fits them.
Absolutely. You know, like I've taught radio merit badge. That's a merit badge. Radio is a merit badge.
Yep.
You know, and so I've done that. And this year I think I'm doing communications. But
Yep.
yeah, it's which is a more important one, by the way. That's an Eagle required.
It's very
badge.
broad, too.
Yeah,
a lot of things apply to it.
But it is one of the more important badges in scouting because you cannot get your Eagle Scout without, unless it's changed since I've did it. But that was one of the what they call required badges. Like at the time, I think they had to earn 21 merit badges minimum, and like 11 of them are required, and then the other 10 could be whatever you want. But most scouts have more than that. But the bare minimum to qualify for Eagle, I believe, was 21.
Mhm.
I'm not sure if that's still the case or if that's
I'm
added.
not entirely sure myself.
It's
but
been a few years since I've done it.
I will say they have changed the merit badges. They've changed namings. They've
Sure.
updated, just to make sure the
technology is-
vernacular and the technology has changed.
And
a lot
I'm
of
sure
things,
there's merit
too.
badges that exist today that we never even thought of 30 years ago because, like, let's just face it. A smartphone was not around when I was a kid, and that creates, I'm sure there's merit badges devoted strictly to work
Actually, the one that comes to mind, we really discuss, we start with the Cubs, is it's the cyber chip, it's the cyber safety.
Yeah, none of that was around when I was a kid.
It's all about understanding that whenever you log in, you're at risk.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So if you're interested in becoming a merit badge counselor, especially for our college here in December, reach out to the council.
Yeah.
Come and share. You can call or go online or physically come to the Scout headquarters there on Aspen and talk to one, if not Denise, one of the other executives there in the office. And they'd be
We're
happy to-
completely accessible. Of course, you can get to all of our information about the council and Scouting America right now in Southeast New Mexico is at nmscouts.org.
Okay.
We snagged that easy to spell URL.
It's way easier than Conquistador Council.
You think so? Yeah, nmscouts.org. And then, of course, the council office is 575-622-3461.
Yeah.
And, we will find a place for you. We need volunteers to get involved.
Absolutely. So, August 3rd is the big Boy Scout alumni reunion. It is going to be at the American Legion Post 41 in Artesia, which is on Hermosa Drive, 402 West Hermosa. They're going to have a potluck dinner August 3rd from 5 to 7. Do they need to RSVP or is it just to come
Actually,
and go?
since I sent you that note last week, we're going to have a food truck and a beverage cart there. We're not going to do potluck after all.
So we've altered a little bit here.
We've altered a little
So you
bit.
just
Yep.
come and order as much food as you want or as little food as you want.
Yep.
It's entirely
I
up to
believe
you.
it's going to be $20 a person. And again, kids are free. If you have any questions, you can visit us again at nmscouts.org or come by the office.
And so if you've been involved in Scout, and to be honest,
everyone,
whether you're at Scouts in
come learn about Scouts. That's a
Florida
big-
or Alaska, if we'd love to have it. But yeah, if you want to just learn about Scouts, there's going to be a wealth of information
Yes.
there. But we want to see Scouts from all over the world. If you were a Scout, even who knows, maybe you're British and you were in the English Scouts. Come and you're here in the United States. Come share your scouting experiences. And I'm telling you, I had more fun in learning more about scouting when I went to Australia and talking to scouts from Japan and England and Australia and Denmark and Norway. And
But you immediately have something in common with all of them.
exactly, their uniform might be a different color mine, or those Scandinavians like they're blue ones. But at least back then, I don't know. But anyway, I have a Japanese Boy Scout uniform in my closet to this day.
Wow.
I traded with a Boy Scout when I was at the World Jamboree, so I have a Japanese. I'm assuming, I don't know if it's still the one they wear now. This was back in the 80s. So, but yeah, I got a Japanese Scout uniform in my closet somewhere. But again, contact the Conquistador Council and make sure if you'd like to come see us on August 3rd in Artesia at the American Legion Post 41, 402 West Hermosa Drive. As you go, for folks not familiar, if you go through the first light at Main Street, then like the second or third one is the Hermosa, if I remember right. I used to do show down there, so I spent a lot of days in Artesia. But please get involved, and please, if you're interested in Scouts, please reach out, come by the office, get your family in. As Scouts, they can start as early as 7 now?
Kindergarten. So I'm going to be in the
age.
elementary schools also the first couple of weeks of school. So
and all the way up to 21 years of age.
That's right.
For youth scouting, and then adults.
we've got a spot for every kid, every age, and every adult.
Absolutely. And every interest
that there's bound to be one that's going to strike your kid's fancy. So,
yeah.
Good deal.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you, Denise, and we'll see you next time. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right, 9:58. Quick break before they kick me off.
Hello. We begin in Roswell with some road work to tell you about. Installation of ADA ramps is taking place near West Hobbs Street and South Lee Avenue. That work will begin Wednesday and will require the closure of one lane at various times throughout the daytime from Wednesday until July 24th. One lane will be continuously maintained at all times. Additional intersections will get ADA ramps as part of a larger pavement improvement project on Hobbs between Southeast Main Street and Sunset Avenue throughout the rest of this year. The state's highest court will likely make a ruling on Alexi Treviso's statements to hospital staff shortly after her newborn baby was found dead in an Artesia General Hospital bathroom trash can. At one point, a custodian comes into Treviso's ER room and tells the nurse that a dead baby had just been found in the bathroom. Treviso then says, quote, "I'm sorry, it came out of me and I didn't know what to do," unquote. That statement was caught on a police officer's body camera, but defense attorneys claim that statement should not be allowed at Treviso's criminal trial because she was not in police custody and had not been advised of her Miranda rights of self-incrimination and to remain silent. An appeals court has overruled the district court, so now the state prosecutor for Eddy County says she'll take the case to the New Mexico State Supreme Court. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
We teach our kids to say please and thank you to total strangers, but we get so familiar in our marriages and families, we stop being polite to each other. Hi, this is Pastor Troy and my wife, Miss Julie Smotherman, for The Joy of Marriage.
In the love chapter of 1 Corinthians 13, it says that love is patient and kind. Love is not jealous or boastful or proud or rude. We emphasize being polite to each other in our family, which promotes an attitude of respect and brings peace in our home. Remember your manners with the person you love the most. Appreciate the things they do for you and let them know.
Being polite to each other can help you avoid conflict. Let's be polite to strangers, but let's not give our best to the people we don't live with. Let's give our best to each other.
If you have any questions or would like further information about the Joy of Marriage Ministry, please go to jomconference.com.
Strong women need strong partners to help them lead their healthiest lives. At Artesia General Hospital, Dr. Scott Beard and nurse practitioner Lori Crockett deliver compassionate, holistic care to women at every age and stage. From routine checkups to diagnostic testing and specialty services like urogynecology, you can expect the most innovative, personalized care close to home. Learn more about women's services at Artesia General Hospital online at artesiageneral.com/women or by calling 575-736-8394. Many women's services are also offered in Carlsbad.
Do you love your car?
Yes.
Well, Roswell Hyundai wants to help you keep your current car with a lower payment. Introducing Refi with Hyundai. Roswell Hyundai wants to help you refinance your current vehicle with rebates and discounts to lower your payment. If you're ready to upgrade, Roswell Hyundai has a fresh inventory of new and pre-owned vehicles with special financing available regardless of your credit with I-10 accepted. Don't forget, all new Hyundais come with a 5-year bumper-to-bumper warranty and 3 years of free oil changes. So, what makes Roswell Hyundai the #1 used car dealership in southeastern New Mexico? You do. Roswell Hyundai, 1909 West 2nd.
Your home for Armed American Radio is 106.5 FM, KEND Roswell.
And good morning. We're closing in on 8 o'clock. Town Hall News coming up in just a few seconds. Stay tuned next hour, about 8:15 or so. Dr. Sean Powell with Eastern New Mexico University Roswell will join us and give us an update on what's happening there. And then Amy McVeigh-Tejas will join us at 9 o'clock hour talking about Dine to Donate night happening at Texas Roadhouse. If you get the flyer online and bring it with you tonight to have dinner at Texas Roadhouse, a portion of your money goes back to the Historical Society. That's next, 9 o'clock.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. House Democrats have come out against a Republican bill that would require proof of U.S. citizenship in order to vote. The so-called SAVE Act could come up for a vote in the House next week. The latest White House press briefing a bit contentious. Karine Jean-Pierre peppered with questions about why a Parkinson's disease specialist has visited the White House many times over the past several years. The White House press secretary refusing to explain the recently disclosed visits.
Clear this all up just by saying what he was doing here and if it was connected to the president, yes or no?
I am not going to confirm a particular neurologist, anybody. It doesn't matter if they're a dermatologist or a neurologist. I'm just not going to do that.
The president's personal physician later said the Parkinson's specialist, Dr. Kevin Kennard, evaluated Mr. Biden and found no issues. Former President Trump preparing to hit the campaign trail later today. He'll hold another of his signature rallies, this time at his golf club in Doral, Florida. Typically one of the hottest places on Earth, Death Valley, setting new high-temperature records as a punishing heat wave grips the west and the south, and it's sweltering in a lot of other places as well. Correspondent Ty O'Neill says while tourists continue to visit Death Valley, they're not staying outside for very long.
Park rangers have told me this is the preferred method, minimizing that exposure to this kind of heat, rolling up in your vehicle, popping out, getting a couple photos, and getting back into that air conditioning.
Over the weekend, one Death Valley visitor did die from heat exposure. Former Hurricane Beryl is now a tropical depression. It's been drenching Arkansas today, left millions in Texas and Louisiana without power. The storm is blamed for at least 7 deaths in Texas and 1 in Louisiana. Watching Wall Street, the Dow down 136 points, the Nasdaq trading 82 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free and will even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Ukraine rescue operation stretching into a second day at a major Kiev children's hospital hit by a Russian missile. The Ukrainian president says 38 people were killed, almost 200 injured in the daytime barrage that hit cities all across the country. And Russia's take, BBC's Steve Rosenberg in Moscow.
The Russian military said what it normally says: we do not target civilians. We did target military industrial sites and air bases. And as for the destruction in Kiev, it blamed that on a Ukrainian air defense missile. Now, Ukraine insists that it found remnants of a Russian cruise missile. Now, what has the Russian president been saying about these devastating attacks? Absolutely nothing in public. I mean, earlier Russian television showed Vladimir Putin marking what is known here as the Day of Russian Family and Love.
The Ukraine war to figure prominently on the agenda this week's NATO summit in Washington, D.C. News and analysis, townhall.com. There's court fight over a new 10 Commandments law.
Parents and others who are challenging the Louisiana law that requires the 10 Commandments be posted in every public school classroom are asking a federal court to block the controversial law from taking effect before schools open in early August. They are also asking for an expedited briefing and hearing schedule. Opponents, many from non-Christian faiths, say the law violates the First Amendment's protections of religious freedom. Supporters say posting the 10 Commandments is appropriate in schools, saying they're part of the foundation of U.S. law. I'm Jackie Quinn.
A United Airlines Boeing jet lost a main landing gear wheel while taking off from Los Angeles. The jet later landed safely in Denver, the airline saying there were no injuries on the ground or on board Flight 1001. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The Travelician, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican world radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The Deuce.
Oh, Mornings with Mike Winters. Thank you, Jocelyn. Right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Hope your Tuesday's going amazingly well. Kind of getting back into the groove of things. Yesterday was probably kind of getting your feet, after last week with the 4th of July holiday, UFO Festival. Imagine, especially people that were heavily involved with UFO Festival weekend probably took the day off yesterday. Maybe even today, too. But, I think people are starting to get back into the regular routines and things again here, at least for summer routines. But happy Tuesday, nonetheless. At least today, no talk of rain, but tomorrow, a different story. We'll get you up to date with the weather and all that here in just a little bit. Which, actually, I'm kind of thinking, my wife and I, we're actually, now, full disclosure, this is my wife's concert that I'm going with her. I am not a fan of the concert of which we're going to. I wasn't back when they were relevant, and I'm still not today. But my wife loves them, so we're going to go have a good time tomorrow night in Albuquerque at the Isleta Pavilion. New Kids on the Block, Paula Abdul and DJ Jazzy Jeff are having a concert. And my wife got tickets months ago. And so tomorrow we're going to go to the concert. I'm going to do the show tomorrow morning. And then right after the show, we're going to book it to Albuquerque. And then Sean will be doing the show on Thursday. And then I'll be back in the chair on Friday. We'll come back late Thursday or Thursday afternoon, whatever, and do all that. So I'll have a full report, I guess on Friday, of our trip to Albuquerque for the concert. However, I'm looking at the weather, and I think, at least the way I was looking at weather last night, I think Roswell's chances of rain on Wednesday are better than Albuquerque's. So I'm hoping that weather's not an issue for us for the concert, because it's at the Isleta Pavilion, which is an outdoor facility, in case you've never been there. And so matter of fact, Kim, we had a concert, it was a while ago, that got, it started, it was Journey and Def Leppard. There might have been another band in there too. But anyway, Journey took the stage first, and I think they played like 4 songs maybe, and then they shut it down because of weather. But and then they rescheduled for a day we couldn't go back because it was in the middle of the week and another, people have jobs and stuff. But so I'm hoping that's not an issue tomorrow. But I was looking at the Albuquerque weather, and it looks like they have like a 30% chance of rain, whereas we're looking at like 50 and severe in nature and all that. So I think it should be okay, but we'll see. But they say their best chance for rain this week is like Wednesday and Thursday. So I'm like, lovely. So hopefully it's more Thursday than Wednesday, but we'll see. But we'll let you know. But I'll be in tomorrow to do the show, and then Sean will take over Thursday, and then I'll be back doing the show on Friday here. So just a programming note there. But so we'll see with this weather here. But yeah, tomorrow they're kind of, talking good chances of rain and all that. So we'll see about that. Hey, we're going to talk about it next hour with Amy, but in case you're not listening, then do want to remind folks that tonight is the Historical Society and Texas Roadhouse's Dine to Donate night. If you don't have dinner plans yet, might I suggest that you head on over to Texas Roadhouse tonight. Well, what you do is there's a flyer that's got the Texas Roadhouse Dine to Donate. It's got a little QR code and everything on it. That flyer, if you either bring a digital version or a printed off flyer with you to Texas Roadhouse tonight, and then present that to your server or cashier, because they do to go as well too. And a portion of your dinner cost will go back to the Historical Society. So that's happening tonight. I believe it starts beginning at 3 p.m. This afternoon, but we'll talk more about it next hour with Amy via the telephone, because she's got a thing at the museum going on this morning. She has to be on site, but she can join us on the telly. So, but we'll talk about that next hour. But if you're looking for dinner plans, maybe grab you a steak or some chicken or ribs or a burger or fish. They got catfish and everything. They got a lot of food over there, good food. So you can help out the Historical Society tonight and have yourself a great dinner too. So, but we'll talk more about that with Amy next hour here. Dr. Sean Powell with Eastern New Mexico University Roswell scheduled to join us here this hour. I don't think he's here yet, so we'll give him a few minutes. But this is actually the Historical Society flyer for those that are watching the video stream. You can get this at the Historical Society's Facebook page. They've got one of these. They also have, if you contact Amy by her phone or email or what have you, and we'll, like I said, we'll talk more next hour. You can get a copy of this too. If you have it on your phone when you bring it there, that's okay. Or if you have a physical piece of paper like this with it, that works as well too. And from the way I understand it, even if you order like through their app and pick it up to go, when you do go to pick up your meal, show them the flyer so they can credit your account. Because generally through the app you prepay and you just generally walk in, pick up your food, and go off about your day. But when you do it this time, tonight, just take the flyer with you, show them, say, hey, I want my meal to support the Historical Society here, and they will tally that for the night's totals and all that stuff. So however you want to do it. But if you're if you don't have to go run around, or you want to get out and about and hang out with people, come have dinner. And usually some of the staff, the Historical Society members, board members, what have you, will be meandering about, visiting, things like that. So anyway, that's tonight. We'll talk more about that with Amy next hour. What else, though? There's something else I was going to mention. It completely slipped my mind here. It is 13 minutes after 8 o'clock. Let's go ahead, and maybe it'll pop in my brain here in a little bit. Let's go ahead and get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. An isolated shower or thunderstorm may pop up later on today. We will be getting a lot of sunshine, though. Afternoon highs mainly in the low 90s. We do have some moist air coming in overnight from the southwest, and that may bring us a few showers and thunderstorms. Our low should be in the upper 60s. A little bit better chance of those afternoon showers and thunderstorms on Wednesday, partly sunny, mid-90s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 71 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 59%. Winds currently out of the east at 6 miles per hour. Today we're looking at sunny skies and a high of 95 degrees. Winds will be out of the south, 5 to 10 miles per hour. No talk of rain today. Tonight, however, there is a 20% chance at showers and thunderstorms, but they're talking before 3 a.m. So I'm thinking the rains will be coming in as you're going to bed and in sleep tonight. So, but mostly cloudy with an overnight low of 69 degrees. Southwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. For Wednesday, we are looking at a 50% chance at showers and thunderstorms. They are talking for the afternoon. They say some of these storms could be severe. Increasing clouds with a high of 94 tomorrow. Northwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. And then they are saying that they're only expecting less than a tenth of an inch of rain unless we get one of those thunderstorms that roll through the area. Tomorrow night, we're looking at a 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms before midnight. Again, they throw in the caveat that some of these storms could be severe. Partly cloudy and an overnight low of 67 degrees. 57 would be nice. Winds out of the southwest, 10 to 15 miles per hour. 30% chance for afternoon showers and thunderstorms on Thursday. Mostly sunny and 94 otherwise, with winds out of the south, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Friday, sunny, high of 96. Saturday, also sunny and a high of 96. And guess what? Sunday, mostly sunny, high of 96. So kind of leveling out for the weekend here. So we'll see how that goes. All right, it is 8:15. Our guest isn't here. Is there anybody there? I don't think so. No? Okay. Let's do this. Let's take a quick break. We'll chat a few minutes, and if our guest doesn't hear, I'll play. You know what? We had Matt Bristol from Bristol Law join us yesterday in 7 o'clock hour. So we may fire that up if we don't see Dr. Powell here in a little bit. But let's take a quick break. We'll be back on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
You've heard of a Four Seasons room, but have you heard of a Four Seasons window? Jennifer here from Trustmark Roofing and Windows. It might surprise you to learn many windows are built to handle only the cold or only the heat, but not both. In Southeast New Mexico, one or the other doesn't cut it. That's why Trustmark windows are built to handle our Four Seasons climate, the scorching summers, the bone-chilling winters, and everything in between. Special glass coating blocks extreme UV rays, a stout frame prevents warping from the extreme weather changes, and insulated glass is like putting your home in a giant styrofoam cooler in the winter and keeps cold out and warmth in. And in the summer, it keeps heat out and cool in. For our Four Seasons weather, get Four Seasons windows. Call today for your no-obligation spring window assessment, 575-755-7663, or visit TrustmarkRoofPros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first. A bedroom is a quiet escape where I go for peace and comfort. This is Melanie at Glenn's Furniture. I know how important the most private room in your home is for your life and the lives of your family. That's why we offer a selection of bedroom groups that make living easier and more comfortable. Modern designs, bold curves, and stylish fabrics elevate your bedroom space. You'll find your new set easy to sleep on and even easier to own. Come see us at Glenn's on the corner of Union and Alameda, where delivery is free since 1953.
If you're missing a tooth or several teeth, a dental implant may be the ultimate solution. Implants look and feel so much like real teeth that you probably forget you have an implant. Maupin & Brown Dentistry is one of New Mexico's most experienced implant providers, with literally thousands of implant patients who are absolutely delighted with the results. Call Maupin & Brown today for an evaluation. You'll be surprised how affordable implants can be. Maupin & Brown, your choice for experienced, state-of-the-art dentistry.
You are 13.8% more likely to die on your birthday. Think about that the next time you want to celebrate your birthday month. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 18 minutes after 8 o'clock, and we just got a phone call during the break there from Dr. Powell. He's actually out of pocket, out of town, traveling. So we will get him rescheduled there. So guess what? Our backup plan is what we're going to go with there. So let me know when you're ready, Jocelyn. I know I probably need to kill a few minutes here to get so she can get ready. Yeah, she's got to do computer things over there, and I'm probably a nightmare to produce because I'm very off the cuff and on the fly, and sometimes I got to prepare for things. And I don't always give. I'm like, hey, let's do it. You ready? Go. And they're like, wait a minute. I got to push like 37 buttons first. They're just going. And so I'm like, all right. So I gotta stall time and all that kind of stuff a little bit for her there. Yeah, it's kind of inside baseball. That's just kind of how these things go. Was there something else I was going to mention? I just can't remember what it was. Oh, well. Hey, real quick, too, and we'll talk more about this next hour with Amy, but the 42nd Annual Heritage Dinner is coming up August 13th. Now, I'm not sure if they've extended the deadline, because the deadline for meals was RSVP date was July 1st. Now, obviously, we're a few days past that, so I'm not sure if they're still taken, but I'll ask Amy next hour.
Morning, it
based
is.
on previous history, I'm gonna say they extended it a week or two, but I haven't heard officially. So we'll let you know next hour. But this year we're honoring Troy Hayes. And of course, we've talked many times on the radio here about the Hayes family and the Hayes Trust that they started with scholarships, and they use the Historical Society as a conduit for the scholarships. And so. But it's all the Hayes family and their money, their idea. They started, and Troy's actually one of the first recipients of it. The Linda Hayes Trust. It's just an amazing person and family, really, that's been doing stuff, and he's kind of turning his Heritage Dinner into a way to even do more good things for people and stuff. And so it's a drive-through dinner per his request. The meal is kind of from Peppers. They're on the grill doing what they do every single time. They put out amazing food. They'll be doing that again, and the menu is Troy's picks here. So, but anyway, we'll ask Amy next hour if you can still slip an RSVP in there, or if we way past time on that. So, we don't want to mess Peppers up too bad. I know they work with us real well, but we don't want to hamstring them too bad by going, all right, can you add 10 more dinners to that? That especially in the day and age of ordering food and all that stuff. So, so we'll double check on that. It is 21 minutes after 8 o'clock. Jocelyn's ready to go. So yesterday we had Matt Bristol join us from Bristol Law, and he pops in each month to give us good legal advice on things. And we talked a little bit about. He asked me questions, and I think I got most of them right. I don't know. Don't take all my answers. I'm a dumb DJ. But here's our interview and our monthly session with Matt Bristol from Bristol Law. Enjoy.
Us in the studio this morning. It is 27 minutes after 7 o'clock, and joining us in the studio this morning from Bristol Law Office, Matt Bristol back with us. Good morning, Matt.
Morning, Mike. How you doing?
Good. How was your 4th of July UFO Festival weekend?
Oh, it was good. It's quiet. I'm trying to get in shape for a hunting trip. So Saturday morning, I walked 18 holes.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. Then I went home, took a nap.
Yeah. And it was a warm weekend to be out golfing, too.
Yeah, so. It was. but Saturday morning was nice, but Sunday afternoon got pretty warm.
Yeah. Well, I noticed I was out and about relatively early Sunday, and the golf courses were packed. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yep, people trying to get their rounds in before gets too nasty out here.
Oh, yeah. If you were to call for a tee time, there's nothing available till noon.
Yeah. Then it was wide open.
Yeah, everybody's trying to get out there.
They'd be crazy after 2 o'clock the Sunday afternoon. Then God bless you.
Yeah.
But yeah, and a lot different story today, I imagine.
Nice weather today.
Yeah, probably fighting for tea times today, all the folks that get the day off today.
Yeah.
But for folks not familiar, Matt joins us each month. And of course, he is an attorney, and he comes in each month to give us sage legal advice when it comes to family finances, to family planning, to business, small business, knowing your legal, what you should be taking care of legally and what you need to worry about, not need to worry about, and those things. And we talk a lot of, ounce of prevention type things to prevent a pound of pain later kind of scenarios.
Yes, we try to do that. It's better to avoid problems in the first place. And the older I get, the more I believe it's avoiding a problem is more important than solving one.
Absolutely. And I think, and that's, to be honest, that's where, when we describe wisdom, what is wisdom? That is wisdom. Wisdom is you living on earth long enough to know, you know what? I've done that the wrong way once before. Maybe I shouldn't do it that way again. That is wisdom.
or thinking of, let's see, what are my alternatives? Yeah. And what's the logical result of each alternative?
Yeah.
And what's going to cause the least amount of pain?
Exactly. Yeah. And so when someone is wise, that's why you should listen to them. Because they've either been there, done that, or they just, have seen people been there, done that, and they use that. That's why your grandparents always have nuggets of wisdom and nuggets of great information that you would have never thought of, because you only learn it through life.
Well, that's the old saying, right? Good decisions come from experience, and experience comes from bad decisions.
Absolutely. So really a lot of our conversations that matter are a lot of that. A lot of, we just focus on a lot of legal type stuff.
And hopefully some common sense stuff. So questions. We're going to do questions today.
All right.
Okay. So, what is a living will?
A living will.
Yeah, we're talking about estate stuff today. So what's a living will?
Well, and this is where you're going to make me look bad because I can kind of say some of these things. But in my interpretation is if you have a person that is alive and sound in some things but can't do other things, then the living will gives power to someone to do those things for them. Am I anywhere close to that? Kind of like a power of attorney type situation.
A living will is a layperson's term. It is not a legal term.
Okay.
So I have no idea what it is.
All right. So I just explained something that I just thought what people interpreted it.
Well, I don't know, but that's a common misconception is a large number of people come into my office.
Is that like a living death certificate? You're either or dead or not, so you have one or don't kind of thing?
There's no fudging that line, right?
Yeah. Is that what we're about? If you have a will, it activates when you're dead. When you're not dead, you don't need the will.
Well, that's right. The will does not take effect until you pass away.
Right.
Right. Absolutely not.
So anything other than that is not really a will.
So
it's a power of attorney or some other document.
Very good. A power of attorney is effective while you're alive, but only while you're alive.
Sure. The moment you decease, then the will takes over as the document is your constitution here. So
there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. So what does a power of attorney do?
Well, my experience is it allows permissions to do things for someone that normally they wouldn't have to do. There's different types. There's like financial power of attorneys allow them to handle banking needs and things. There's medical power of attorney. So say a loved one is incapacitated, you get to make medical decisions for them.
Right.
And usually they fall into those. I'm sure there's probably some other ones in business and things that aren't as popular but are available too.
Well, those are the two broad categories.
Okay.
Medical and financial. But powers of attorney can be as narrow as you want or as broad as you want.
Kind of like a prenuptial agreement. Well, it can make it very narrow or very broad, and it just defines by the agreement between the two parties, basically, right?
Yeah. So it could be so if it's limited to certain things, it's called a limited power of attorney. So if I'm moving from Roswell and I need Mike to sell my house, I could do a power of attorney to Mike for the limited purpose of selling the house.
And only things they're allowed to access would be things relevant to the sale of that house.
Right.
You can't get in there, and I can't go look at Matt's stock holdings and everything else.
Correct.
I can just access whatever financials needed to procure the sale of that home.
Exactly, yeah.
Gotcha.
So the rest of my life is still protected and of privacy.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
Yeah. So power of attorney basically says anything I can do, Mike can do for me. So that's why when I'm dead, it dies with me. I can't do anything.
Sure.
So if it says anything I can do, Mike can do for me, does that mean I can still do my stuff, or have I lost the ability to do my stuff?
I would say no, as long as you're of sound mind.
Correct.
If something determines you're not, then you probably lose it. But as long as no one's labeled you as not sound mind, I'm sure you're able to make all those decisions.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You're absolutely correct. So that's a common misconception is power of attorney shares power. It doesn't give up power. And so I see that a lot with adult children. They got elderly mom as power of attorney, and they say, look, I'm in charge of mom now.
Sure.
Well, no, you're not.
And since we're talking this, and I don't want to mess up your
no, go ahead.
kind of thing, but when it comes to when one can obtain a power of attorney, I know, like when we think medical, a lot of people think in those medical terms, but I got to imagine, is there a point where you can't, where the patient can't make decisions anymore? Is there any way to get a power of attorney at that point, or is that past the point of no return once the patient is of not medical ability to make those decisions? I mean, where's that line that you could still get a power of attorney where you're like, nope, you've crossed that threshold, we can't do that anymore?
Actually, I get that question. I had an elderly man come in, and he wanted to get a power of attorney over his brother. And so I'm like, okay, well, why? What are we talking about?
Right.
But you cannot get one over someone. They have to give it.
Right. That's what I'm thinking, So what happens when they do get into those medical situations and there wasn't something established? What's the consequence?
Or medical, or it could be just dementia, could be Alzheimer's. But once a person is no longer competent to give a power of attorney, they're no longer competent.
Gotcha.
And they can't give one to anybody. They're
so what
not legally
happens to
competent.
decision making for them? What's the protocol there? I mean, do loved ones get a say, or are they completely shut out of the equation now?
I think that's going to depend on, in your example, the healthcare provider.
Gotcha.
So if you've got, all the kids, mom is in the hospital, she's no longer competent to give a power of attorney, and you got all the kids in the room, physicians don't want to get sued by family.
Absolutely.
So they're probably going to converse with the family to some extent.
Try to, within the law,
get a consensus.
Yeah.
Without violating HIPAA.
Sure.
Yeah. But say somebody's just got dementia and they're going to live another 10 years. What do you do? And that's when you have to go to court and get a guardianship, and which is a process. It's an expensive process because the law is designed to prevent guardianships.
Gotcha.
The law wants to presume everybody competent.
Sure. Yeah. Well, because I imagine if you don't, that's when you get the slippery slope of indentured servitude and Lord knows what else.
well, yeah. So if granddad's standing on the street corner handing out $100 bills, is that crazy or is that eccentric?
Sure.
So
yeah, because at the end of the day, it's his money. He does what he wants.
That's right.
But if he's out there giving away his money because he's not rationally with it, then. If he knows what he's doing, then God bless him. It's his money. Do what he wants with it.
But the guardianship's designed to prevent guardianships because we don't want the greedy little grandkids trying to take over grandma's fortune.
Right. Just because grandpa wants to give it away because he thinks you're a snot bag, that's his prerogative.
Oh, yeah. I've had people come in and say, well, Mama here is spending all of our inheritance. What can we do to stop it?
Nothing.
It's
not your money. It's their money. They earned it. They do what they want with it.
That's right.
It's not become your money until they die if they so choose to give it to you.
Exactly.
There's no law saying they got to.
That's right. There is no right to inherit.
Yeah.
There is no right to inherit.
Yeah, so be nice to your parents.
That's right.
That's the moral here. Don't just think you're automatically entitled to it. You're not.
So a medical power of attorney, the statutes call that an advance health care directive.
Okay.
Because you're directing in advance. It's got two parts. One is medical decisions, and the other part is end-of-life decisions.
Gotcha.
Like, if machine's the only thing keep me alive.
Sure, if they're under coma, when can that plug be pulled, so to speak? Versus, should they go with this aggressive treatment or less aggressive treatment? That's kind of the difference you're talking about there. When they're saying, okay, there's cancer, they're incapacitated, but we could try this treatment or this treatment. What do you think? Versus, we're done. They're living on life support. You tell us when to pull the plug.
Yeah. So pull the plug is directive is technically a little different than a DNR, but the medical community, they call that a 5 wishes document. They call a medical POA a 5 wishes document. So if you're in your doctor's office and they ask you, do you have a 5 wishes document? That's what they're talking about.
Sure.
And if you don't have one, say, no, I don't. Please give me the form and I'll fill one out.
Sure. And this might be getting into television show type scenarios here, but since we're talking, it does have me curious. When you get into these DNRs and power of attorney and these situations where people give up their or choose not to be resuscitated, do they get to situations where even though the person has a DNR, where the doctor and the family are like, look, there is something we can do here? I mean, does that debate ever come in the legal world where the person has a DNR, but the doctor and maybe the family are even saying, you know what, there's one more thing we can try here? Does that ever get into the legal world per se, or is that mostly family stuff?
Probably family stuff.
Okay.
So my understanding of a DNR is you're in the hospital bed and you code. Your heart stops.
Gotcha.
So that's what they do not resuscitate.
Gotcha.
Versus a directive that says if a machine's the only thing keeping me alive, just turn the machine off.
Gotcha. Okay.
So technically a little different.
So basically, if you're in an emergency situation, they're like, we can jumpstart you. We're not going to start you because of your wish.
Well, if you're in the hospital bed and and your heart stops, and you have a DNR.
Right. If you're on the street corner, then they're going to try to do that.
Correct.
But if you're say you're having a heart bypass and things go afoul there, they're not going to try to I mean, they're going to try to save your life, but when the point of no return hits, they're not going to keep trying, basically.
Yeah, so, and I don't know where they draw that line. I remember when my grandfather was over 100 years old. He's 102 and had to go in for gallbladder surgery. And so they asked if he had a DNR. And I said, well, I don't know. Let's ask him, see what he wants to do.
Yeah.
Because at 102, there's a lot of risks.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, everything's a risk at 102.
But it's laparoscopic, and he came out fine. And,
good deal.
Yeah.
Well, people that are around 102, they're tough hombres. They kind of, they've seen and been there and done a lot.
Oh, yeah.
But yes, everything is one and the other on that too. But I was just kind of curious on that, where it gets, sometimes, because of course you see nice salacious TV where they have these conversations in waiting rooms and on various dramas and stuff. But I was like, does it ever get to a court level where there is an argument, kind of like like you remember the feeding tube story with the lady about 15, 20 years ago, where the lady was on the feeding tube surviving, and everyone was like, well, when are we going to pull it? And I think they ended up pulling the feeding tube. She passed, but there was a lot of public in that one, if I remember.
So in the statutory form for advanced health care directives, one of the choices is I do or do not want artificial nutrition.
Gotcha.
Another choice is I do or do not want artificial hydration, except for my comfort, because comfort's a big thing.
Sure.
There's actually no choice on pain meds. It's the form just says, give me all the pain meds I need.
I gotcha.
Which is a good thing.
Sure, because generally speaking, that's when you're end of life and we're trying to make them comfortable. And
yes.
And when they tell you don't take morphine because it'll do this to you, they're like, well, at this point, morphine's a beneficial thing, not a bad thing.
Better living through pharmaceuticals.
Yeah.
That's my motto.
Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of where where the mindset changes from. We're not trying to fix things; we're just trying to provide peace and comfort until that time comes, basically.
So that brings up a distinction. So the 5 wishes document that the medical community uses is a fill in the blank form.
Okay.
What if there's a fill in the blank will form? Can you do fill in the blank wills?
Well, I mean, there has to be witnesses and signatures and everything. So I'm assuming as long as all that's done the way it's supposed to, I guess. I don't know. Like a prefab will that you just fill in the blank and then someone notarizes and signs and calls good. I would assume that's...
Depends on the state.
Okay.
New Mexico does not recognize handwritten wills.
Okay.
Texas does.
Gotcha.
But New Mexico will not recognize a handwritten will. So if you're filling in the blanks with handwriting, that doesn't work.
Gotcha. Okay.
So you got a bunch of blanks in the will.
Gotcha.
So,
okay.
Yeah, so let's go talk to an attorney and get that done correctly.
So what if someone types up their own will and an attorney signs off on it? Is that okay?
What do you mean signs off?
So say if someone writes up their own will and then goes to the attorney's office and said, this is my will, certify it.
Well, the statutory requirement is that it be typewritten.
Okay. As long as they got a keyboard, got on Word, and typed up, in essence, a letter, will-like letter.
And so at that point, it's going to need to be witnessed.
Okay.
2 witnesses. Not necessarily notarized, but at least 2 witnesses.
Okay.
And so as long as it's typed and witnessed, it works.
That's good to go.
Yeah.
Excellent. As long as the attorney's in and saw that it was witnessed and it's truly on the up and up and not coerced and that's why things like video testimony, people like to take their phones and video their parents saying, I leave you my house and keys and car. None of that is legal because we don't know if there's a guy behind the camera with a gun to their head.
That's
you don't
right.
know.
That's
there's no, and so I didn't know if some of this got into that same world. It's like, no, unless you saw them physically type it out and do everything else, that could fall into coercion.
So if somebody's got megabucks and there's a fear of a will contest,
sure,
then they might video the signing of the will, the execution of the will. And so they may be asking questions of, hey, Mike, is this your last will and testament?
Sure.
And this is what it says.
No one's influenced you on what the decisions are here.
And this is really who you want to leave your stuff to. And you sure you don't want to leave more money to the no good nephew who drinks all the time? And so if there's a hint of a contest, they might videotape the execution of the will.
As an attorney, do you get any kind of say on some of that kind of stuff? Because I imagine, as an attorney, you could see red flags. Like if someone comes in and I want to give all my money to Reverend blah, 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 and you're like, okay, this might be. I mean, at what point do you as your attorney get to kind of step in and say, I detect foul play here, like someone's influencing you. Did you get any kind of recourse or latitude there?
You can always refuse to do the work. Sure. So I had an elderly mom and adult son come in, and it's one of those, well, mom wants this, mom wants that kind of things, in her will. And so I'm listening, and I'm thinking, So every time the son says, well, mom wants this in her will, I'd look at mom and say, I'll do whatever mom wants.
What does mom want?
And he'll talk, and I say, I'll do whatever mom wants, mom wants. And so I took all my notes, and we sat there. We talked for an hour, and thank you very much. And she came back about a week later and said, "This is what I want."
Ah, okay.
And I said, "Yes, ma'am. Yeah. I'm going to do what you
want."
That's
exactly what, without fear of the son or whoever it was kind of controlling the situation there and controlling. Well, that should be an interesting surprise when she passes and he thinks it's one thing in there, and the will shows up and it's like,
yeah. But
she changed that.
But a lot of times, the elderly parent will come in with the adult child and says, well, I want to give everything to this child. Okay, well, how many children you have? 5. And so why is this one the lucky one? So they're taking care of me. You're the only kid that lives in Roswell.
Sure.
I'm ill.
The rest could care less about me. Why should I leave them any money?
Right. Yeah. They help me pay my bills. They buy my groceries. They're the one who's taking care of me. And so at that point, it sounds pretty logical,
Well, and that's why, you get to. So back to my point at the beginning, be nice to your parents. They don't have to leave you anything they don't want to.
That's right.
They'd be like, good luck to you. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. Goodbye now.
So let's say we got a young couple, maybe a kid or two, don't really have any money or assets yet. There's no equity in the house. There's no equity in the cars. So do you think they would need a will if they don't have any assets?
Well, yeah, if there's kids, absolutely.
Bingo.
Yeah, if there's kids, absolutely. Because what happens?
Bingo.
What if you get hit by a bus tomorrow, you and your wife? Where do those kids go?
Exactly.
Till that, you got to solve it. Not everything in a will is about money. Sometimes it's human beings and what happens to them and where they go.
Especially minors, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you need a will for what's called a testamentary guardian. And that way they can get appointed pretty darn quick. Otherwise, everybody's fighting in the court system now for who's going to raise the kids.
Sure. Well, and especially if you get, like I've seen enough scenarios where a mother, young, she has multiple kids through multiple fathers. Some are in the picture, some aren't in the picture. She ends up getting cancer or some terminal disease. And now there's no will in place. One dad's in the picture, one's not. Where do these kids go? And that's without that will in place, the mother has no decision on where those kids end up going because no will was put in place. Now, whatever the law says, even the dad that's never been in the picture, legally, that's who the kid goes to because
he's going to get first shot.
Yeah. And so if you don't want those kind of things to happen, you've got to have the will. That's your only protection from those things happening.
Exactly.
Otherwise, you're leaving that decision to other people.
Yeah.
And that may not go in your favor because they're not thinking always about you. They're thinking about what's best to resolve the situation at the time. It may not be what you wanted. So.
Right. Yeah, the judge in the black robe doesn't know you, doesn't know the kids, doesn't know the family history.
Yeah.
So it's very important for young parents, to have a will that says.
And all your relatives can fight in the wind all they want. Yeah, but we take care of it. It doesn't matter in the law's eyes. Without documentation to say as such, they're going to go to whatever the law says should happen to that child.
There's that new TV commercial about that too. Have you seen it?
I don't think I have.
Yeah, it's mom and dad with probably sister-in-law on the den, and if anything happens to us, we want you to raise our kids. And, oh, thank you, how sweet.
Oh,
and,
yeah, I did see a couple of those commercials.
Peel, right? Peel pops up. Says,
I saw one with a car where the dad leaves the kid like his classic car.
Yeah.
And he's like, that doesn't count. Yeah, I did see that one. I haven't seen the other ones, but I've seen the one about the car. Now
he's got the one about the kids, yeah.
But yeah, that's absolutely correct.
It is.
They're trying to get you to do an online thing. I don't know if I recommend that, but when it comes to legal advice, I always recommend you talk to people that are lawyers, and you get what you pay for and everything else. And yes, there is a convenience to filling in blanks and letting a computer print out your thing. But what happens when you need it? Will it be truly what you want it to be? And that's
does it really
question.
Say what you think it says?
Where you're sitting down and talking to Matt could say, all right, well, what about this? What about this? This doesn't cover this. What do you want to do about this?
Mm-hmm.
And your .com thing don't care about that. I'm just saying.
I try to think 3-4 steps ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're doing pretty good on the answers. So what's the difference between an executor and a power of attorney?
A power of attorney has control. This is what I'm going to guess. A power of attorney has control of decisions given to them by whatever the power of attorney dictates. Whereas the executor is a person that once a person dies and the will is in place, they're the ones that are in charge of making sure the will is executed as per instructions.
Yes. So the power of attorney works while somebody's alive.
Yes.
Only, as you said earlier.
Yeah.
And the executor doesn't kick in until somebody passes.
Right.
And then the will becomes effective.
They're the ones that make sure the will happens. A power of attorney person, they're the ones making the decisions while the person's alive and doing whatever the power of attorney dictates them to do.
And both jobs are what are called fiduciary jobs. That means they have to put the principal's desires ahead of their own desires.
Now, the person can be the same person if someone dictates it, and that's probably very common, where while they were alive, they were making medical decisions. Now that they're dead, they're making the will decisions, too. I'm sure that's very common in families.
Yeah, because it's the kids.
But they're two different things.
two different jobs.
Yeah.
But I had somebody the other day say, oh, I think I need to fix my will. Why is that? Well, somebody told me I needed to name a power of attorney in my will. And I'm thinking, what?
That's two different documents.
Where'd that come from?
Yeah.
That's pretty bizarre.
That's like adding your lease onto your mortgage. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
What? Now you're just saying words.
So here's a question. Does Mike need Kim's permission to make a power of attorney?
No.
Correct.
No. Now, if it's a marriage-based power of attorney, I'm thinking we both need to be. But if it's for my medical decisions or I can pick whoever I want to, can I?
You can pick whoever you want to.
Yeah.
You do not have to pick your spouse.
Yeah. I'm going to. Don't worry, folks. But in theory, I don't have to. Yeah.
Very good. Very good. But some people think they have to have their spouse's permission to make a will or do a power of attorney, and the answer is nope.
No. Now that they're your spouse, they can sign usually bank documents and things for you because you're marriage. But when it comes to the other stuff, it's whoever you designate. Mm-hmm. And generally, if you don't have a power of attorney, I imagine it defaults to spouse because they have legal, because of that contract. Do they get to make legal decisions or medical decisions if there is no power of attorney?
For medical stuff, generally the hospital and healthcare providers will talk to the spouse. Yeah.
Because I just know with my wife's situation, and it was usually me in the room when they're talking because I'm the spouse, and even more so than the parents.
Yeah. So, I've had to take my wife to the ER, and they say, well, do you have the power of attorney? I said, well, number one, she's my wife, and number two, she's not competent to make her own decisions. And at that, especially at that second sentence, they let you in.
Right.
But if you were just to say, oh, it's my neighbor, and they're going to say, well, HIPAA, buddy, sorry. But with a spouse, but not so much kids and adults. So if anybody listening has an adult child who's single, you need to get a power of attorney from that child. Because otherwise,
they're a grown person and they get to make their own decisions, and mommy and daddy shouldn't be making those decisions anymore.
Well, even if they're, car wreck, can't make decisions, if you don't have a medical POA, it doesn't matter if that is your child.
Sure.
They're an adult.
They don't know your relationship. They don't know.
Right.
Could be estranged. Could be you're trying to sabotage them. We don't know.
Yeah, so go out there and get your adult single child's power of attorney, medical POA.
Or get them married, one or the other. Find them a spouse.
To someone you like,
Yeah, preferably. Otherwise, you'll be seeing Matt for a totally different reason. And you get to find the other aspects of law he's an expert at. But yeah, absolutely. That's, and this is what we're talking about here. This is, and I know these are unsexy decisions, unsexy things to think about.
Yeah, sometimes depressing.
But they will save you so much time, headache, and in an already bad situation, let's face it, anytime someone's dying or someone's in a major medical situation, that's arguably the most stressful scenarios of life for people,
Absolutely.
Why convolute it worse by not having your ducks in a row on who's a power of attorney, where's your will, who's going what, where to whom. To be honest, the big decision's deciding that. I think once you've made the decisions, filling out the paperwork and doing the will is pretty the easy part. It's just a matter of deciding who goes what to where and making sure everyone's in agreement on it.
Well, one of the little tricks, tips I tell people on the medical, especially the medical power of attorney, is make sure whoever you name, you write their name as it appears on their driver's license.
Yeah, no nicknames or non-birth names.
Well, if they have to use that medical POA, someone's going to be asking for ID.
It's just kind of like plane tickets nowadays. If you don't put whatever's on your driver's license on your plane ticket, they might give you a hard time when you're going through TSA and all that kind of stuff. It's in the power of attorney and legal world and all that. It's 10 times full thing. It's got to be spot on.
Yeah, if I'm using my medical POA to help Mike out, I've got a phone call. Well, hey, something's gone wrong if they're calling me.
Sure,
something's gone terribly wrong.
Yeah,
because why didn't they call Kim first?
Right, exactly.
So yeah, something's gone wrong, and it's people aren't thinking real straight.
Absolutely.
How are we doing on time?
We're about out. I got about a minute and a half of ads to play. We got about 2.5 minutes. So yes.
So quick one.
Yes.
Okay. So they asked us this question in law school. Mike, who are your heirs?
Your heirs are whoever you designate them to be. Right? I mean, if your heirs, wait a minute. There is no heirs.
Living people have no heirs.
Yeah.
Only dead people.
Yeah. If you're, you have people you can bequeath things to when you die, but heirs only happen when they get to heir your stuff. So
yeah,
the will determines who your heirs will be.
Well, the definition of an heir is the people who receive your estate if you die without a will.
Gotcha.
So,
okay.
So that's the definition of an heir.
Gotcha. So if Uncle Lou died and no one else but you were the one around to get it, you're the heir.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So the goddess Athena was the goddess of wisdom. You talked about wisdom earlier in the show. And Athena had several attributes or symbols of Athena. And one of the symbols of Athena was the owl.
Yes, okay.
And that's why today we still think of the wise owl. Yeah, that's where that comes from.
You're welcome, Tootsie Pop.
Yeah, 2,500 years ago.
Thank Athena.
And we're still there. Yeah.
And the eyeglass commercial with the owl.
Isn't that amazing? 2,500 years later?
It is.
Wow.
And owls are pretty wise animals in the world, the birds of prey world. They're pretty smart. So.
They have feathered feet, so they fly silently.
Yeah.
Talk about death from above.
You ever seen their legs? Like if they pull back the body and the wings and all that.
Little skinny things, yeah.
They're pretty gnarly. But anyway, of course, if anybody has any questions about anything we talked about here or need their own legal advice when it comes to family law or small business law, any of that kind of stuff, Matt Bristol and Bristol Law Office can handle that.
Yeah, give us a ring, 625-5284.
Yeah.
BristolLawOffice.net.
.net. That's right. Remember, it's .net now. And, of course, you can go there and set up a free consultation with Matt, and you can discuss your legal issue, and then he'll be happy to sit down with you and say, you know what, you fill out a couple forms, you're good to go, or you know what, you need the services of an attorney. Let's get her done on that. So.
Yeah, be glad to help us out.
Absolutely.
Help you guys out. And thanks, Mike, for letting me be here.
Thanks as always. Appreciate the visit. And don't forget, BristolLaw.net is to go. And if you have any questions and see everything about Bristol Law. So.
Thank you much.
Thank you, sir. We'll see you next time.
All righty.
It is 8 o'clock. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell.
Begin in Roswell with some road work to tell you about. Installation of ADA ramps is taking place near West Hobbs Street and South Lee Avenue. That work will begin Wednesday and will require the closure of one lane at various times throughout the daytime from Wednesday until July 24th. One lane will be continuously maintained at all times. Additional intersections will get ADA ramps as part of a larger pavement improvement project on Hobbs between Southeast Main Street and Sunset Avenue throughout the rest of this year. The state's highest court will likely make a ruling on Alexi Treviso's statements to hospital staff shortly after her newborn baby was found dead in an Artesia General Hospital bathroom trash can. At one point, a custodian comes into Treviso's ER room and tells the nurse that a dead baby had just been found in the bathroom. Treviso then says, quote, "I'm sorry, it came out of me and I didn't know what to do," unquote. That statement was caught on a police officer's body camera, but defense attorneys claim that statement should not be allowed at Treviso's criminal trial because she was not in police custody and had not been advised of her Miranda rights of self-incrimination and to remain silent. An appeals court has overruled the district court, so now the state prosecutor for Eddy County says she'll take the case to the New Mexico State Supreme Court. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
All across America, this is the Lou Dobbs Business Report.
I'm Ryan Lang in for Lou Dobbs. Wall Street still waiting. Inflation expectations declining. Powell's Congress testimony begins. Wall Street mostly flat as traders wait on key inflation data and earnings this week. All three major indexes relatively unchanged yesterday. The Dow Jones Industrials finished down more than 30 points. The S&P mostly flat. The NASDAQ up just 50 points. June CPI and PPI reports coming Thursday and Friday. Meanwhile, second quarter earnings season kicking off in a big way Friday. Key updates from Wells Fargo, JP Morgan Chase, Citigroup, and others. Inflation expectations decreased last month. The New York Fed reported consumers expect price increases to slow in the short and long term. Expectations for both food and gas edged a half a percentage point lower. Fed Chair Jerome Powell's testimony in front of Congress begins today. He'll focus on the Fed's monetary policy. More Boeing woes. The FAA ordering the inspection of 2,600 Boeing 737 MAX jets, checking on oxygen masks on planes after reports of system failures. Meanwhile, Boeing's pleading guilty to fraud in the U.S. probe of 2 fatal 737 crashes. Boeing stock still down 26% on the year. Please join Lou twice each weekday for the Lou Dobbs Business Report right here.
Business news you need to know. Keep listening for more. This is the Lou Dobbs Business Report. Resort living can be yours with 361 days of sunshine when you live at the residences at 400 Central in St. Petersburg. Now under construction. Call 727-205-8517. That's 727-205-8517. Visit residences400central.com. That's residences, the number 400central.com. Call 727-205-8517.
Oh! Shooters, mark your calendars for the H.F. Sinclair 3rd Annual Freedom Clay Shoot, July 12th and 13th at the Eddy County Shooting Range, benefiting the Artesia FFA. Main event is Saturday. Registration at 7 a.m. 1 in 4 participants win prizes, gun boards, raffles, and lunch included. There's an option Friday night light shoot with $40 individual rounds. Details and registration info at artesiachamber.com. Deadline is July 1st, the 3rd Annual H.F. Sinclair Freedom Clay Shoot, July 12th and 13th at the Eddy County Shooting Range.
Who doesn't think the dentist is a big deal? I know what you're thinking. What will they find? How much will it hurt? What are my options? Hi, this is Dr. Sarah Usher, and I am here to tell you that here at Carabelli Dental, it is our job to put you at ease. With options like sedation dentistry, you can rest assured that regardless of what dental work you might need, you can get it done while resting comfortably. Call our office now and speak to our knowledgeable staff about setting up your new patient appointment.
Come see the team at Carabelli Dental or call 575-622-4455.
It takes a long time to develop trust. At LaGrone Funeral Chapel, they've been earning your trust for decades. They understand how important it is to friends and family to celebrate a life in the way you choose. The professionals at LaGrone will ease your stress and anxieties. They'll provide the guidance you need to select a service that's appropriate. And that's what they've been doing for generations, earning your trust and doing the right thing. LaGrone Funeral Chapel and Crematory, 900 South Main in Roswell. Online at LaGroneFuneralChapels.com.
Your home for Coast to Coast AM in Roswell, 106.5, Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Downgraded to a tropical depression, former Hurricane Beryl continues moving north from the Gulf of Mexico. It's dumping a lot of rain. Last check, it was centered roughly 40 miles west of Little Rock, Arkansas. The heat wave that's gripping the south and the west continues to claim lives. Dr. Richard Bruno is with Oregon's Multnomah County Health Department. He says 4 suspected heat-related deaths are being investigated.
These are probably preventable deaths, based on the fact that we assume that they probably would not have expired if they had had better cooling options. And so we're trying to ramp up and make sure people have those options right now.
It's another miracle of modern medicine.
I want people to know this can be done.
Marty Kedian is the third patient in the U.S. and one of a handful worldwide to undergo larynx transplant.
As you can hear my voice right now, 2 months ago I couldn't talk.
He's part of a clinical trial at the Mayo Clinic. Dr. David Lott.
My patients tell me, I may be alive, but I'm not really living. And so to me, if you look at it from that perspective, being able to give that gift back to somebody, to me, that really is a vital organ.
One of the biggest critiques is that it's not a vital organ, but Lott says for people who can't breathe, swallow, or speak, it's life-changing. I'm Julie Walker.
Federal judge has ruled that protesters cannot march through a security zone at next week's Republican National Convention. The ACLU and a group called the Coalition to March on the RNC 2024 filed suit against the city of Milwaukee last month. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell tells the Senate Banking Committee that inflation has eased notably, suggesting the central bank may be inching closer to cutting interest rates. And watching Wall Street, the Dow is down 89 points, while the NASDAQ trading 61 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
NATO commemorates a significant alliance anniversary with its annual summit in Washington this week, and the world will be watching to see how President Biden does hosting the summit.
The summit marks the 75th anniversary of NATO, and there are weighty issues to consider. Russia's war in Ukraine, perceived threats posed by China, and security in the Indo-Pacific region. Joe Biden is used to the pressures, the back-to-back meetings, speeches and dinners that come with an international gathering like this. But his ability to navigate the week will be scrutinized more than ever.
The BBC's Adam Smith. At least 27 people, including 19 police officers and other government personnel, have been injured. A large pile of confiscated illegal fireworks exploded. A powerful blast in the southern Philippines. It damaged houses, hotels, as well as a nearby international airport. News and analysis, townhall.com. A record 3 million people passed through security screening at America's airports on Sunday.
The record topped the June 23rd mark of more than 2.99 million screened passengers. 8 of the 10 busiest days in the TSA's history have come this year as the number of travelers tops pre-pandemic levels. TSA was created after the terror attacks on September 11, 2001, and replaced a collection of private security companies that were hired by airlines. The agency operates under the Department of Homeland Security, which said that agents on Sunday checked 35 passengers every second. Keith Peters reporting.
Actor Alec Baldwin's trial in the fatal shooting of a cinematographer begins today. Jury selection starting in Santa Fe, New Mexico. The actor's trial on a charge of involuntary manslaughter could get him 18 months in prison if he's convicted. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3 of Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Tuesday, everybody.
Yes, sir.
It still is Tuesday.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, all day.
The hustle and bustle is on.
Absolutely. Programming note, I will be in doing the show tomorrow, but I'm going to the concert.
He's going to go get his socks rocked off.
Whoa.
Dude, I was so mad that you brought it up last hour when I was nowhere to be found, so I couldn't comment on it.
Well, now you're here.
Because I know that you're worried about the rain, you're worried about the storm, but Mike, you got to be hanging tough.
I don't hang tough.
I think you've got the right stuff.
I do
baby. Not going to finish that line.
I'm more straight up. Now tell me.
Love the way you host the show. Now, we all know, really, Mike's main goal is to get DJ Jazzy Jeff to sign his head.
Of course.
Yeah, in silver Sharpie if possible.
Now, call me stupid or naive.
All right, stupid, naive.
Outside of Fresh Prince songs, what does DJ Jazzy Jeff have?
Well,
I don't know. I'm asking a legit question.
I think that's it.
I don't know.
He's a DJ, so I'm guessing he does like clubs and stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, like, what are we going to see? Is he just going to be up there going wiki wiki, or is he going to be doing parents just don't understand?
I'm sure there's going to be a work in a parents just that's probably going to open and close. But I'm in the middle. I'm guessing it's just going to be a standard DJ set. Probably a little record action. He'll probably have like a guest or two come on with him.
Maybe it's Will Smith.
No, it won't be. Although Willie could use the rehab he needs
the positive exposure right now. He's kind of in a bad light everywhere he turns.
Yeah.
So
so it's hard to say. It's kind of like when you find out that like Pauly D from Jersey Shore is a DJ and actually does sets. It's like, what does a DJ Pauly D song sound like?
I'm gonna guess it's not gonna be much because he's the opening act,
right?
And the history of concerts like this tell me, even when the opening act's a name, it's sad. Like, give you an example. I went to a concert. This is years ago, and I think it was Def Leppard opening.
Happens a lot to you, doesn't it?
Yeah, I've been to like 3 other concerts.
And there will be a next time.
Yeah, and right.
That's how he ends all the shows, by the way. Julian.
Will Def Leppard please retire? I'm tired of going to their concerts. Anyway, so it was Def Leppard, Poison.
Okay.
And Cheap Trick.
I remember Carl went to the show, I'm pretty sure.
And I was excited for Cheap Trick. I was like, yeah, Cheap Trick. I liked them in the 80s, you know. Poison, and I've seen them, been there, done that. Def Leppard. I was like, oh, whatever, you know. I've poured enough sugar on it.
Plenty of sugar has been poured. At this point, we need to reserve the sugar.
That's right. I've skinny bopped my way enough times. So I was like, good, Cheap Trick. We'll get something new, different, you know. And it was literally like the bar version of Cheap Trick. They were just like up there with a couple instruments. They had no concert signage or anything. It was
just like they were propped up there.
Yeah, they said, all right, come up here, play a couple songs and go home. And that's literally what they did. And I was utterly disappointed because I was like, the one I want to see the most was the least prominent at all.
I have a semi-interesting story from that night, actually. I didn't know you were at that concert because Carletta and her mom went to that concert.
Okay.
I did not.
Okay.
I dropped them off and went back to my hotel room and enjoyed the rest of my evening and then picked them up later. But on the way back to the pavilion to pick them up. Is that an
option?
It turns out, yeah. Saves money on tickets. Now you got to find her somebody to go with. You got to find your wife a companion. But
well, Carletta and Kim are both Def Leppard fans.
That's true.
Can't they just commit to each other and go to that every time and save the rest of us?
It's not my contract anymore, man. But on the way back to that concert to pick them up, on the way back to the pavilion, I'm in the middle lane, and then the far right lane is a semi-truck. So we're like right next to each other. I'm coming up on him, and at first I just noticed he's kicking up sparks. I didn't realize why until, dude's riding on a rim in a semi-truck. So I had my window down.
Did he know it?
No idea. I'm guessing he didn't.
I feel like the vehicle would handle different.
I had my passenger window down, or rolled it down to holler at the guy, dude, your tire's on fire. And then as soon as I get up to where his window is, 3 or 4 good-sized sparks just shoot into my car.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, into my open, dumb window. And so I'm like, never mind. I just zoomed past him and just kind of like, it's your problem now, bud. But
I would think he would notice.
I don't know if he was like maybe looking for a place to pull off.
But I guess if you got 18 wheels and one of them's out, you don't notice as much.
I'm not sure.
Maybe you notice it more and there's only 4 of them. I don't know. But to me, But
yeah, that was almost caught my car on fire. If it was the car I drive now with all the crap in the passenger seat,
it would have been a tinderbox.
That would have been a tinder, exactly. That's just kindling,
right? It'd literally be like Looney Tunes when they throw a match. Like,
just up in 1 second. Next thing you know, it's just a charge.
Yeah, you just see Charge Sean with his eyes. Pretty much. Be just like that. So.
But no, this one, this is at the pavilion also.
Yeah, it's at Isleta Pavilion.
I'm kind of surprised that they can that New Kids has that kind of pull.
Oh yes,
they can sell out there.
Have you not seen
pavilion?
They cornered the market of women from 35 to 45.
That's true.
To 50, maybe. 35 to 50.
I'd say 35 to 50. Because no, I'd say honestly, I'd say 40 to 50 because the 30 to 39-year-olds were pretty much solidly captured by Backstreet Boys and NSYNC.
To be honest, if I was a single dude right now, I would be delighted to go to this concert.
Because if you were a single dude right now, you would not be going to this concert.
I'm thinking in my single dude brain, you go to this concert to meet women.
That's true. To meet women of a certain vintage.
At a concert. Vibes are flowing, flirty.
Sure,
I'm just saying, excellent opportunities to meet people.
Can I buy you an Insure?
Never mind, they're $13 a pop. Yeah, so I'm going to be paying $10 for water and all that other good nonsense.
Yeah, that's never fun.
But it comes in a can, so.
I'm really looking forward to next week, the 19th, or actually the 20th, AJR.
That's right.
Seeing them in Denver. It's the first time AJR has ever done a stadium tour. So.
How long are you doing the Denver thing?
We'll leave the 19th, and then we'll be back the 21st.
Oh, so just a couple days. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have like other Denver plans while
we're
you're
going to
there?
hit the Meow Wolf, the convergence station.
Yeah.
That's sort of like become our thing is we go to the places that have Meow Wolves because they're so much fun. I mean, if you've never been, it's really an amazing experience.
Can you do this for me?
Okay.
Go have breakfast or lunch, doesn't really matter, at some establishment.
Okay.
and then go in there and just rant and rave how much New Mexico green chili is better than
Colorado
green chili.
100%. I'll start fights.
Just go in there and start doing that.
I'll throw hands with the Coloradoan if you guys want to step to our chili.
That's right. It's like, man, this green chili cheeseburger would be so much better if it was New Mexico green chili. Just say it,
So according to a certified trucker, Ion is checking on the chat. Yes, we can smell when a tire is on fire or if we happen to be dragging a moose. So I'm sure there's a backstory there.
Yeah. Well, didn't she do like ice road truckers or something?
All kinds of
like in her life, wasn't she like one of those guys you watched on History Channel, the ice road truckers? Yeah.
Yeah, she's told me how she's had to pop the clutch and on hills and stuff, and how it's trying to complicated like on ice roads and all kinds of weird stuff. So you see it all behind the wheel.
They gave them a show. It's danger enough. You get a show.
Right. I'm still holding out for the spring edition ice road truck. It's just a lake.
Ice road boaters. Man. But the funny part would be if they're actually 18-wheelers with just like pontoons instead of tires or something. I don't know.
18 tuner?
Yeah.
And
then they have somebody like water skiing off the back.
Of course, just because. But I have a feeling you're gonna bring back some good memories from this show.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure I'll be.
You know what's gonna happen is they're gonna hit a couple of songs. You're gonna be like, "Oh, that was them." Paul Abdul will probably break one or two out that you're like, "Oh, I forgot about this one."
Now that I could see, that I could see happening because she had quite a bit of hits that just were kind of hits for a little bit, like other than the straight up and the one with the cartoon cat. I can't remember the rest of them were,
forward.
Yeah, that one.
Whatever happened to MC Scat Cat?
Maybe I'll see him on
there you
Wednesday.
Go. Yeah, you could bust him out, I'm sure.
Actually, I don't think his name means the same thing anymore.
No, it does not. I don't think it meant the same then. He was just he maybe was ill-informed.
Well, it's kind of I think a tip of the nod to like the the zoot suit time. Let's scat, man. Kind of.
If I would say this,
that meaning's changed over time.
If DJ Jazzy Jeff was a younger man, I would have nothing but respect for him if he threw himself on stage the way Uncle Phil used to throw him out of the house.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I would have a lot of respect for him, but I don't think his hips could handle that these days.
I'd love if they started the show that way, where he literally just
throws him on stage,
throw him out there like a dead fish on the stage.
There's got to be a thick enough crash pad that he could take the fall.
Sure, there's plenty of mats.
I watched Vince McMahon throw himself off a balcony. This dude could take a bump.
We put a man on the moon. Surely we can.
A man on the
moon. Surely we can make this happen. So, but anyway, yes, full report Friday morning when I'm back.
Get a T-shirt. You honestly should get like one of the DJ Jazzy Jeff ones and rock it unironically around town.
I might. That sounds like a bad idea.
Right? It's a good
if
look.
They're not $70 for a T-shirt, I might do it.
There you go.
I don't know. A Paul Abdul shirt.
I'm just picturing you sitting across from the DA's office, just rocking like a shiny DJ Jazzy Jeff shirt.
Although if I wear the Paul Abdul shirt, I feel like it's an homage to Talladega Nights with Will Ferrell in his Crystal Gale shirt.
Yeah. A Crystal Gale shirt. Only if the shirt says STR, the number 8, and then an up. That's the only way I'll accept it.
If I find that, I'm getting it. That's it. That's the one.
It was foretold.
So let it be written. So let it be done. That shirt is mine.
There
Let's
you
go. So let me give you the rundown for this hour of the show. I think we're going to do that. Now, the more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm kind of.
Do you have this in a men's extra medium?
Yeah. Maybe I'll cut out the number.
Cut the sleeves up. Do that thing bodybuilders do, the cut down.
Right. I'll redneck it up with the Paul Abdul shirt.
Heck yeah.
That's good.
I like it.
We'll call it Kid Abdul.
Yeah.
Paul the Rock.
Hard to go anywhere with Mike. Every time he takes 2 steps forward, he always takes 2 steps back. Really a hassle.
He drinks Bud Light and has got a sleeveless Paul Abdul shirt.
Sitting on your porch on a Sunday. Morning, Bill.
Oh, that's a party. Oh, man. We're going to have Amy McVeigh-Tejas join us on the phone here in just a few from the Historical Society for Southeast New Mexico. Tonight is Dine to Donate night at Texas Roadhouse. Procure yourself one of these flyers and take it to Texas Roadhouse or a digital version. Either one will go. Mm-hmm. And then 10% of your meal cost will go back to the Historical Society.
Very nice.
We'll talk about that. We'll also talk about a couple other things on the Historical Society's calendar as well.
She's phoning in, right?
Yeah, I'm going to call her.
I was like, she's not here yet.
No. I got to get her on the telly. She actually has they have something going on at the museum this morning, and so she has to be on site, but she has time to talk to me.
There you go.
So, yeah, she had to pull out that big ring of keys like the janitor has just to let everybody in and all.
Go through it's not that one. Hold on. Give me a second.
She has an outfit like Schneider from One Day at a Time, just like that. So, all right, it is 20 minutes after 9 o'clock. Let's get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. An isolated shower or thunderstorm may pop up later on today. We will be getting a lot of sunshine, though. Afternoon highs mainly in the low 90s. We do have some moist air coming in overnight from the southwest, and that may bring us a few showers and thunderstorms. Our low should be in the upper 60s. A little bit better chance of those afternoon showers and thunderstorms on Wednesday, partly sunny, mid-90s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently, 76 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 54%. Winds are calm at the moment. I got hiccups. They came out of nowhere. Sorry. Sunny today. Expect a high of 95 degrees. Winds will be out of the south, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, there is a 20% chance of showers and thunderstorms. However, it's like they're saying like before 3 a.m., so it's more overnight, I think. Mostly cloudy, overnight low of 69 degrees, southwest winds 5 to 10. Tomorrow, there is a 50% chance at afternoon showers and thunderstorms. Some of the storms could be severe, increasing clouds with a high of 94 tomorrow and northwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. They're expecting less than a tenth of an inch of rain. We might get higher amounts if we do get a thunderstorm rolling through. 30% chance of rain for Wednesday night as well. Once again, the storms could be severe. Partly cloudy with an overnight low of 67 degrees and southwest winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. For you Thursday, a 30% chance at afternoon showers and thunderstorms, mostly sunny, 94 for a high. Southwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Friday, sunny and 96 for a high. Saturday, sunny and 96 for a high, and mostly sunny on Sunday with a high of 96. All right, it is 22 minutes after 9 o'clock. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we'll talk with Amy McVeigh-Tejas from the Historical Society on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Hi, everyone. This is Melanie from Glenn's Furniture. When was the last time you looked forward to sleep? Let's be honest here. You know a restful night's sleep has more health benefits than you consciously think about during the day. Here at Glenn's, we carry Serta mattresses, and they've been in the business for more than 90 years. Choosing one can be hard, but I want you to know we have your back. Come see us at Glenn's on the corner of Union and Alameda in Roswell, where delivery is free since 1953.
At New Mexico Gas Company, we believe there's money hiding in your home. It's true. It's hiding in your insulation, in your water heater, and in your furnace. And New Mexico Gas Company can help you tap into that money with rebates up to $800 for high-efficiency natural gas improvements. Your energy costs will go down, and your wallet will thank you. We're New Mexico Gas Company, and we provide energy efficiency solutions to save you money. That's why we're here. Learn more at nmgcgetrebates.com.
At Anderson Bethany Funeral Home and Crematorium, we honor and pay tribute to the achievements of your loved one by celebrating the life you shared together. Anderson Bethany Funeral Home and Crematorium is compassionate and cares about our local community and the families we serve here in southeastern New Mexico. Locally owned and operated, we will be here to help you decide how to celebrate the bond you've shared and pay tribute to the unique individual you've lost. Visit us at 2609 South Main in Roswell or call 622-5888.
Attention Roswell and surrounding areas. Celebrate freedom. Celebrate huge savings with 0% financing, more for your trade, and no payments till October during the Red, White, and Blue sales event at the all-new Roswell Ford. With new management and a whole new attitude, Roswell Ford makes trading up to a new Ford or quality pre-owned vehicle fast, fun, and easy. Upside down in your loan or stuck in your lease, Roswell Ford wants to get you released, even if you owe thousands more than your trade is worth, regardless of make, miles, or condition. Right now, get huge savings with rates as low as 0% for 66 months. Plus, we have a great selection of low-mileage, one-owner pre-owned vehicles, all in prime condition, starting at just $10,000. Don't settle for a low-quality, overpriced clunker. Buy a quality pre-owned vehicle from Roswell Ford for a lot less. Worried about your credit? Don't sweat it. We've partnered with the most aggressive lenders that will push to approve you today, even with bad or no credit. Lower prices, exceptional trade-in values, and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford, 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell, or online at roswellford.com. $15.15 per thousand finance on selected Ford models with approved credit.
It's possible to turn peanut butter into diamonds. Peter Pan tried it with his buddy Skippy, but they couldn't do it in a jiff. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 25 minutes after 9 o'clock. I got to flip my phone real quick here because I forgot to do that. Now I did. And joining us on the phone this morning from the Historical Society for Southeast New Mexico, Amy McVeigh-Tejas back with us. Good morning, ma'am. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. How's life at the museum this morning?
It's just moving and grooving and going, and I better catch up with everything going on. Well, it's not about catching up. Sometimes, if these well-oiled engines just need to keep going, and we better make sure we're taking care of business.
Absolutely. Real quick, before we talk about tonight, I do want to ask, for folks that aren't aware, coming up here August 13th is the 42nd Annual Heritage Dinner. This year we're honoring Troy Hayes and the Hayes family, and of course the meal is picked by him. Peppers is going to, once again, they're doing an amazing job doing the food and all that. It's a drive-through event per Troy's request. But I know the deadline to RSVP was July 1. Are we still taking reservations, or are we past the window?
We sure are still taking reservations,
okay.
and as we live in the land of manana, we know a lot of people are busy doing a lot of things,
sure.
And we know with the UFO Festival and everything else going on, including summer vacations, life happens. It is the summer, but we do want to encourage people. It is not too late.
Good.
We do need to get, we respect the process. We respect Peppers.
Sure.
We would really like to have a head count by this Friday.
Okay.
I have received approval with a thumbs up, go right ahead. It's just like everything else. They need to plan and make some arrangements. They've got some big events coming up themselves.
Absolutely.
So please, if you're listening and have purchased a bundle, we've got some bundle purchases that have been in the past to pay it forward to people in need, our volunteers, just really blessing others. So we would really appreciate individuals and businesses considering purchasing a bundle, paying it forward to others, but just enjoy the meal also yourself. I just got a RSVP from somebody, and I love this. They purchased a box for themselves, and they said, here's another $120. And Mike, this morning I've already had the privilege of paying it forward to one of our volunteers who is quite frankly having a hard time right now. So it's a win-win for everybody. Good. And including, it's just such an honor to celebrate Troy Hayes.
Absolutely.
And if somebody has said, who is Troy Hayes? Well, give us a call or follow us on Facebook and Instagram, because we've been impacting lives for years.
Absolutely.
Courtesy and thanks to the Linda Hayes Trust and us partnering with Troy Hayes.
Absolutely.
And we keep elevating and blessing more kids every year, Mike. So I don't know. Before we know it, I could be calling you, telling you we've doubled our money because so many people are donating to the Troy Hayes the Linda Hayes Trust, and getting some more scholarships out there.
Absolutely, yeah. This is, and that's and anybody that's listened to this show for any regularity, we've talked about Troy and his great work multiple times on this program. So I think regular listeners are probably very familiar. But yeah, and if I remember correctly, he was wasn't he the first recipient from the Linda Hayes Trust? And then
you better believe it.
And,
so I think that's part of my favorite story, to say that the Linda Hayes legacy started with giving this first scholarship to her husband, Troy Hayes, getting him to where he's at today, all these years later. That's a story in itself.
Yeah, and that's really, he was so, I'm going to guess, humbled by what his wife did, that he's almost duty bound, now, especially that she's no longer with us, to kind of keep that legacy going. And that's really what the Hayes Trust is, to me, I think it's that motivation that, because he benefited so much from that gesture, that it's a life goal for him to keep that gesture paying it forward. And he doesn't do it for any other recognition other than the fact that he just, I think, feels an obligation to do it because of, what he received. You know what I mean? And so, even in this event that we're having here, he's kind of turning it into ways to help others more than even honoring himself, if that makes sense.
100%. So if I can quote Troy Hayes, when we sat down with him, his quote back to us was, he wanted to challenge individuals to think of those special people that have impacted their lives and thank them. So rather than making this event about himself, he wanted to take a moment to embrace impact. He helps us impact, but taking that a step further, thinking about those people that have impacted your lives and thanking them. So this event is an annual fundraiser. It is. But it's really more so just celebrating people that have impacted our community, and Troy Hayes is a perfect example of that. And then Troy Hayes, I've been here, this is, I think, my 10th Heritage Dinner that I've had the privilege of being a part of, and we've never had individuals totally turn that back into giving back to others and doing for others. I think that just speaks on his character, that the character and legacy of Troy Hayes, and Linda and Troy. So it's just like every wonderful man, behind every wonderful man is a great woman, and certainly they've both impacted, and we mutually celebrate. It's just nothing but love and admiration for Troy and his wife.
And I always, yes, we're honoring Troy Hayes, but I always seem to mention in there the Hayes family, because that's
exactly right.
Troy is kind of the beacon in there, but like you said, it's really that effort and his support and everything that made all this great work possible. So an honor to Troy, but really an honor to the Hayes family, obviously his wife and everything else. So it's
and I'll take that one step further. When we're honoring Troy, he wants to duly note the amazing women in his life, and that's his amazing staff over there at the Troy Hayes office. He mutually shows love and respect for his staff, and that helps. They're just part of this process too. So we want to challenge everybody. If you're not going to be in town or have not enjoyed our event, Troy was very specific. He wanted a drive-through event. He loves the way it operates. That's the way he asked us to celebrate him.
It's a great way to do it. I like it. So
we want to reflect the individual. He picked the menu. He's picked. So if you see our beautiful posters around town, that's him. We partnered together, and everything is a reflection of Troy Hayes.
Absolutely. So, but good news is you got pretty much to the end of this week to get your reservations in if you've not done that. By the way, reserve a box for me, please. I got to pay you, but I got to.
Thank you, board member Mike Winters, for continuing to support.
I need a box, please. I don't think I officially told you. I didn't officially tell you, but I just assume I need a box every time. So.
I should have done so, but I didn't. But you know what? Since I've been talking to you, Mike, I've got this right in front of me. I've already done it, so that's awesome.
Good.
Awesome.
But it's and like you said, and if you want to pay it forward, or if you're a business or an entity, please take advantage of the bundle. We'll deliver 5 boxes to anywhere you want within reason. We can't send them to like Alaska or nothing, but we could even probably if we need to get them down to Artesia Way or something, we can make sure we'll find a way to
we've
make that
done
happen.
some interesting things, so don't assume we wouldn't deliver
Yeah.
to areas. We've got great board members, including the man I'm talking to on the radio right now. If you want Mike Winters to deliver you a box or a bundle, and do something unique to celebrate those people in your life, we're all in.
Yeah.
We're all in.
No nudity, though, please. Keep it tasteful.
That's right. Keep it tasteful, all in the name of Troy Hayes. He'd want us to do that.
Yeah.
Yes, and
Me
he
too.
would want to.
Me too.
But one box is 120. Dinner bundle is 600. And please call the museum at 622-8333. You can email me at historydirector@outlook.com, or even text or call my cell phone at 575-915-4471.
Absolutely.
Just noting, Mike Winters, one box, I'll mail you a check kind of thing. Every penny does count, especially with Troy Hayes, because he wants to make sure we make the best out of our money. So we will be more than happy. Let me make something clear, Mike. Just because they can go to our website at roslynmhistory.org and still purchase online, we would prefer you do it by phone and mail us a check in honor of Troy Hayes. We'd make a little bit more money, less fees involved. And I think in honor of Troy Hayes, he would want, every penny to count type thing. So don't hesitate to give us a call. We can take cards, and you can go online right now, purchase a bundle for yourself or a box, and pay it forward, all of that.
Whatever's the most convenient way for you to do it that way. But if you're thinking about it, go ahead and just call and tell Amy you want to reserve a box or a bundle, and shoot. Someone will come pick up a check if need be, but we'll make sure.
Yes. As a matter of fact, Sweet Robin is listening to me right here. She's in my office working today, and we're blessed with wonderful volunteers like Sweet Robin that could absolutely, if you called today and said, Amy, I need you to come by my business, pick up a check, let's pay it forward, this and do that, we will absolutely make life easy for everybody doing that. Yep.
Good deal. But by the way, the actual date of the event is August 13th. And if you're thinking, well, okay, but what's the food? If you've not heard, here's the official menu for the Heritage Dinner this year. Again, Peppers is on the grill doing amazing things with food once again. And again, like Amy said, this menu is at Troy's picking. So we are going to enjoy a garden salad for two as kind of a, for your salad. Plus, your appetizer includes a jumbo shrimp cocktail for two, so both you get to share, unless you've got a greedy one, which is usually me. And then
my husband, Ralph Tejas.
Yeah, exactly. And then you get two entrees. One of the entrees is an 8-ounce prime rib with au jus and a creamy horseradish, and then the other entree is a chicken arpois entree, which Peppers is kind of famous for their arpois. And then I believe both are served with baked potato and loaded with the toppings and vegetable medley, roll and butter, and then for dessert a chocolate brownie dessert for two. So chocoholics are singing those praises today. So that's what you get for a box, is all of that food. So it's built for two, but if you're eating it by yourself, I won't tell anybody. So you do you.
That's right, absolutely.
And some people are like, I made 3 meals out of it. No, you didn't. You ate it all at one setting, didn't you? I don't blame you. I would have done it
you
too.
know what? We support whatever works for the individuals. That's for sure.
50-year-old Mike can't do it, but 20-year-old Mike would have done it.
There you go. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Well, now that we've got you all grumbling and thinking about food, let me invite you to your dinner plans for tonight. Yes, Texas Roadhouse has once again partnered up with the Historical Society for their Dine to Donate nights, and we've been doing them pretty much every month here for the last couple months. But tonight is Dine to Donate night at Texas Roadhouse, and like previous times, if what you need to do is procure. If you're actually watching the video, the flyer's already up there. I was about to show it, but Jocelyn's already has it up there. It is the flyer that you can get, and you can get that off the Facebook page for the Historical Society. You can, I believe even Amy can email you a digital version or text you a digital version if you need to. And you can bring a paper version or a digital version, but when you go tonight, And you can go anytime between 3 and 10 p.m. So starting at 3 o'clock this afternoon till I'm guessing they close at 10. So
right.
Till 10 o'clock till close. You can go and participate. But and this also works for if you dine in. So we'd love to have you come and sit down and enjoy a meal. But if you do to go or you do through the app or whatever, when you do go to pick up your food, make sure you present them with a copy of that flyer, either on your phone or in your hand. And that way they know to count because a lot of times when you do to go, especially if you do it to the app, you prepay and everything. So you got to show and tell them saying, hey,
yes,
this is for the Historical Society. Here's my flyer. So they know to count your order towards the totals for the night there.
Yes. That's exactly right. Don't presume. I think that's one thing that if people don't regularly attend these wonderful fundraising events, they presume or assume it all goes into our pot.
Yep.
And we respect all the rules that have been put in place strategically for a reason.
Sure.
We respect Texas Roadhouse.
Absolutely.
So
they are a business
absolutely,
at the end of the day.
absolutely. So if you go, we love that you're going. We love that you're supporting them, but we have to make it easy for yourself and print it out or literally screenshot it from our Facebook or Instagram.
Uh-huh.
All you have to do is show them and say, we're here in support of the Historical Society. That's all you need to do. They will give you a copy of that ticket. You literally give that ticket to the waitress stating, this goes towards the Historical Society. So please make sure and do that. Get your takeout and support Texas Roadhouse for what they do. And
Absolutely.
It's a win-win.
Plus, by the way, they got pretty good food too. So if you want to make it steak night or catfish night or rib night or burger night, they got you covered. Or probably a few others there I haven't quite got yet. So
oh yes, they have a great menu, great service.
Yeah.
They're amazing over there. Great service, great rolls. My grandson loves the rolls. But it's all good.
Or I don't recommend this because I'm a meat eater, but you could just get a bunch of their sides and just eat that.
Yep.
It's pretty good. Get you some mac
agree.
and cheese and some, I don't know, beans, one of the beans, and maybe some cornbread. Chili's one of the sides too. Yeah, they got, and the rolls.
Yes.
Yeah. You could do a whole meal of that, not even touch the steaks or stuff. I don't recommend it because I'm all about meat, but, some people like, I just eat vegetables. All right, good for you.
Yes. No, for sure. Absolutely. So make sure, just for our regular attenders and supporters, we are doing this July evening tonight on July 9th. We will take off August due to our Heritage Dinner, and then we'll get back up and going in September. So if you regularly support us during these nights, support tonight, and then for August, we would really encourage you to support the annual Heritage Dinner.
Absolutely, yeah, and help us honor the Hayes family as they and here's the thing, that I don't see any slowing down from the Hayes family on any of this kind of stuff too. So this is the keeping the tradition going. Dare I say, this could go long enough where we might have to have another Heritage Dinner for them. I'm just saying,
that'd be so cool. The legacy is quite long, and let me say this, Mike, setting aside food, and we've done a great job of promoting the Heritage Dinner. Let me be clear on something. We have some of our members that really just aren't into supporting food fundraiser type scenarios.
Gotcha.
Nothing would make Troy Hayes happier for you to send a check to any listener, sending a check, put in the memo, scholarship in honor of Troy Hayes.
Sure.
We still have scholarships. So somebody called me the other day and said, Amy, are y'all done giving scholarships for 2024? We're not, because we just will have our next New Mexico Youth Challenge Academy group that will come through. They will be graduating in December. So our job is not done. Well, it's never done. Any way we can impact lives, we're doing that. But if you wanted to impact lives of New Mexico Youth Challenge Academy, we've got our allocation available, but we would love to bless more lives. So in honor of Troy Hayes, if you did nothing but send a check saying we want to add to the scholarship fund for 2025 or 2024, our job is not done with scholarships, and we will have another graduating class in December.
Good deal. So so keep those. And by the way, yes, if so you don't want to do, great, cut a check. Like I said, if you want to earmark it towards scholarships, that would be great. Or if you want to just, as a general historical society donation, that could go to anything from paying the light bills and then the utility bills to support some landscaping or some renovation works or construction works. Because guess what? When you have a home that is as old as the J.P. White House, there's a lot of remodeling and upkeep on that sucker. And it's a little bit different when it's just an old house, but this is an old historical house that is a historical landmark registered. There's a lot of ways that things have to be done. You just can't slap some drywall up in there. You have to do it a certain way per the historical, and obviously you want to keep the construction of the building as close to its original design as possible. Obviously technology has changed since that house was built, and there's probably better ways to do a roof, but if you want to keep it historically accurate, you need to do the techniques of the time to do that.
That is correct. Yeah. Absolutely. We are still collecting loose change while I'm thinking about it. If you're not a member of the Historical Society, they start at $30, go up to a scholarship level. One thing I wanted to mention, Mike, if we're running low on time, I know, again, shout out to everybody in support of the UFO Festival and all those events. We have another event coming up Sunday, July the 21st. Dewey Johnson will be in town honoring the legacy of Joe Bauman. His most recent book is One Last Doubleheader, Joe Bauman's Home Run Summer. So make sure and support this event. This is a Sunday, like a throwback Sunday fun day, if you will. That event will be on Sunday, July the 21st from 2 to 3 o'clock in the archive facility. Dewey Johnson will be there. Again, we're going to celebrate the legacy of Joe Bauman. And then just in following suit there, we're going to have historical night at the Invaders game. That will be held on Monday, July the 22nd. So you can get the book signed out there. But we really encourage people to come on Sunday, meet Dewey, hear his presentation, all of his love for the game. Dewey's got another project coming up. So the little word on the street is we're going to have some Little League World Series individuals partaking in these events because that's Dewey's next project.
Yeah.
So our 1956 Little League World Series champions, we're going to have some of them here and around during this time because Dewey's going to be working with them on another one of his projects. So support the Invaders, support the legacy of the love of the game. Dewey Johnson's been working on this for a long time. Support his book. If you want to know more about the book, we've got books here available. Call today. Go ahead and purchase your book and then come back for the event. We've got a lot of books, but we've sold a lot of books. So call us now, purchase a book, and then support Dewey. Again, that's Sunday, July the 21st from 2 to 3, and then support the Invaders at Historical Society Night on Monday, July the 22nd. That game starts at 6:30.
Something else Amy didn't tell you is Invader Night at the baseball game, they're going to make all the baseball players use the same equipment that Joe Bauman did back in his day. I'm just kidding.
Oh, come on. We do need some type of throwback scenario. You know what? That really would be classic. I've got a couple of... I think we could come across some type of, I like that idea, Mike. We sure could think about it. Oh, that's so
well, maybe uniforms, awesome. But I don't know about the equipment. Those baseball mitts and stuff, probably, those guys would probably soar after that night,
You know what, though? I like that. I know we love some fun, unique baseball. I like those high-rise type of pants, old school, rather than the long pants and everything. Come on, Mike. We could get a little old school.
Or like the vests, like the pirates and them used to wear, those vest uniforms.
But also knowing that my family legacy, we're all in for the love of the game, and that goes for my husband too. So, support our local legacy. And if you don't know much about Joe Bauman and the legacy, there's no coincidence that stadium is named in honor of that legacy.
Absolutely.
So, that's quite, and like I said, we want to really support the Roswell Invaders, and the Roswell Invaders are going to be part of this. We want to celebrate history and remind them, but they are our future too. So it's mutual admiration for current, but in past too.
And you don't have to wait till the end of the month to go see them. You can go to a game. They've got a, because if I remember, they wrap. Is it the last night, regular season night that our game is, or it's pretty close to it if it's not?
I believe that. So if my memory, and I don't have that schedule in front of me, I believe I believe that is right, the Monday game. So, and if people need to also, there's that, so the Sunday Fun Days from 2 to 3. I know for a fact there's a game on Sunday night, but then Monday will be the Historical Society night, and Dewey Johnson will be throwing out the first pitch.
Yeah.
But honestly, we want to encourage people to go to the Sunday Fun Day, then go out and support them Sunday and again on Monday.
Yeah.
You know, let's wrap it up and let's finish strong. I love that thought. And they work hard. They deserve our support, and they are representing a long and distinguished legacy.
Absolutely.
And we should be so proud of them and support them.
Yeah. Come if you've never been to an Invaders game, go bring the whole family. It's fun for everyone.
Yes.
They have and the great part is, you know, if you're just out for a ball game and go out there and have a beer at a ball game and you know and have fun. But if you want to bring the family, you can bring them. They can have a great time. A lot of times the kids get to interact with the players and it's such, you know, trust me, your kid will leave there feeling like a rock star. That's kind of, you know, so, you know, if you're looking for some family fun, go take them to a baseball game. Go have them go see the Invaders. Trust me, it'll be a fun night for the whole family. So
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And if you haven't stopped by the museum recently, please give us a call at 622-8333 or text me at 575-915-4471. We have been busy. We're cleaning floors and everything now. We've been high traffic around here lately. So, please give us a call if you haven't come by the museum morning, noon, night. You think I'm saying that because just to say it, I'm not. I mean it.
Oh, absolutely.
We give tours early in the morning. We give them at night. And we're open to work around your schedule, not creating a schedule that may not work for you. We work around schedules, and we're happy to do that.
Absolutely. What kind of because during UFO Festival, we did have structured hours for the afternoons during UFO Fest. Yep. Did you get some good traffic through during those days?
We sure did, absolutely. And if you haven't been around, we've got our 4th of July decor up. And you know what, Mike? We're keeping it up. Representing the good old USA for the Olympics. So we're keeping up everything. As far as I'm concerned, we're supporting red, white, and blue till after the Olympics.
I'm about to say, those three colors are appropriate all the time, the way I see
it. On this beautiful house. So we're decorated. It looks beautiful. And just come and represent. It is us celebrating and just being patriotic and supporting our country and the festivities coming up with the Olympics. So we will keep that up through August. So give us a call. We'll be happy again, morning, noon, night, weekends. Give us a little bit of advance. We have a lot of things going on. Just like today, I'll be leaving, to prepare for Texas Roadhouse. But it doesn't mean with a little bit of advance notice, we will work around your schedule,
Absolutely.
Get tours. Shout out to the Roswell Independent School District. We had hundreds of middle schoolers here over the summer.
Nice.
Getting them fired up about history.
Good.
And I don't think that's the last we're going to see these middle schoolers either. We got them fired up, and we're excited to perhaps start some history clubs and just celebrate our history. And if you represent homeschoolers or any organization that needs, whether it's goodie bags and a private tour or some brochures celebrating local history, we are all in to work with your organization, students, homeschoolers, just celebrating history, and we're open to new opportunities and projects.
Absolutely. So please reach out. Yep. Come out. Come out tonight to Texas Roadhouse. You know what? There's Amy, some board. So if you have any questions about anything, I'm sure you can ask them there, and we can get those answers to you. So definitely.
And if you don't see us at the table, I've got a unique schedule tonight. So if you're listening and have some questions, give us a call or email me. I may not be at that table. It does not mean there will not be information out there.
Sure.
And you can email me at historydirector@outlook.com. Give us a call, and we will work with you in any way possible.
Absolutely.
And I really appreciate the support. We've had a good summer.
Absolutely. But please don't forget, bring the flyer with you. Either have a picture of it on your phone or print it up and drag it with you. But bring that with you. And that's if you're dining in, if you're doing to-go, or if you're doing carry-out through the app. Bring that flyer, present it to your waitress and waitstaff so we can get the credit for your meal tonight through the Historical Society.
And book purchases. Shout out to John LeMay that was at the Galacticon and Elaine. If you did not stop at John's table, he just put out a new book overnight, Mike. I wasn't even familiar with this
Oh, really?
So if you say you have all of John LeMay books, I find that hard to believe because I can't keep up with him. So give us a call to support the newest book. There is a brand new book that I wasn't even aware of. I really literally cannot keep up with them. And we've got some new books. We just yesterday got our shipment of the new Dewey Johnson book. So give us a call. We've got a lot of books and a lot of projects with Donna Blake Birchall's new ones and some stuff. So give us a call. And during the summer when it's so hot and you need to cool off inside, pick up one of our books, support the Historical Society, and do some reading. We've got a lot of new stock and we've got a lot of new books available.
Excellent. Well, I just happened to Clyde Lewis. You know who he is?
Yes.
Yeah, he was in town for UFO Fest, and so he was in the office yesterday, and we're recording liners and visiting and what have you. And so I gave him because he likes stories and conspiracy. You know, he loves aliens. He loves the history, all that. And so I gave him John's latest book about Montezuma and everything. I said, you'd like this and read it. So unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to read it before I gave it to him, but I gave it to him. And and to be honest, he goes, "Oh, I've heard of John LeMay." And I said, "Oh, have you?" And he goes, "Yeah." And I said, "Yeah, he also does Godzilla." He goes, "That's where I know him from. I'm a big Godzilla fan." I was like, "There you go."
From one side of the spectrum to the other.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's what I do love about John. His writing is very diverse, to say the least.
Absolutely.
And I love all of that. To think, John LeMay and in his writings, he just keeps evolving, and it's so amazing. And we're thrilled to have him as part of our family, and that
Absolutely.
goes for Donna Blake Birchall too. We are blessed, and Dewey, we're blessed, and even Joyce McCollum and so many authors, Linda Sanchez, the list is long and distinguished, and even the legacy of Elvis Fleming. We are blessed to have a lot of books and just a lot of dear friends, all in the name of history.
Absolutely. So RosalindMHistory.org, you can go there and see all those books. You can get the flyer for tonight. You can finally do your last-minute RSVPs for the Heritage Dinner. And, of course, any other questions you might have about us, you'll probably find them there at the website, too. So, good deal. Well, Amy, I'll let you get to your pressing stuff. I know you got about 20 things on your list to do today, so I'll let you go do that.
Goodness, but that's all right. That is all right.
Just when you think you got everything checked off, then another parchment of the list rolls out, and you're like, man, what happened? I thought I was getting caught up here.
Oh, yes, that is for sure. That is for sure.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Anytime, and we'll talk to you next time, all right?
Okay.
All right.
We appreciate your support. Have a great day.
Thanks. You too, Amy.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, that was Amy McVeigh-Tejas with the Historical Society. Yeah, get out. We'll see you out at Texas Roadhouse tonight. At 9:56, let's take a final break before we wrap up the show. Don't go away.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason. The financial markets, including Wall Street, are awaiting Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell's testimony today before the Senate Banking Committee. Investors will be looking for any clues as to the timing of a possible interest rate cut. Powell addresses a House committee tomorrow, while the government will issue its latest inflation data on Thursday and Friday. Consumer goods company Helen of Troy saw its shares tumble nearly 27% before the opening bell after it posted first-quarter sales and profit that fell short of Wall Street expectations. Chipmaker Intel rose another 2.8%, following yesterday's 6.2% gain. Traders are looking ahead to several earnings reports this week, including updates from Delta Airlines on Thursday and major U.S. banks on Friday. Elsewhere, global shares mostly higher today. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason.
Attention Roswell and surrounding areas. Celebrate freedom. Celebrate huge savings with 0% financing. More for your trade and no payments till October during the Red, White, and Blue sales event at the all-new Roswell Ford. With new management and a whole new attitude, Roswell Ford makes trading up to a new Ford or quality pre-owned vehicle fast, fun, and easy. Upside down in your loan or stuck in your lease, Roswell Ford wants to get you released, even if you owe thousands more than your trade is worth, regardless of make, miles, or condition. Right now, get huge savings with rates as low as 0% for 66 months. Plus, we have a great selection of low-mileage, one-owner pre-owned vehicles. vehicles, all in prime condition, starting at just $10,000. Don't settle for a low-quality, overpriced clunker. Buy a quality pre-owned vehicle from Roswell Ford for a lot less. Worried about your credit? Don't sweat it. We've partnered with the most aggressive lenders that will push to approve you today, even with bad or no credit. Lower prices, exceptional trade-in values, and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford, 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell, or online at roswellford.com. 1515 per thousand finance plus selected Ford models with approved credit.
Strong women need strong partners to help them lead their healthiest lives. At Artesia General Hospital, Dr. Scott Beard and nurse practitioner Lori Crockett deliver compassionate, holistic care to women at every age and stage. From routine checkups to diagnostic testing and specialty services like urogynecology, you can expect the most innovative, personalized care close to home. Learn more about women's services at Artesia General Hospital online at artesiageneral.com/women or by calling 575-736-8394. Many women's services are also offered in Carlsbad.
Martine's Capital Cafe in Roswell offers authentic and highly rated New Mexico food. Explore their amazing menu featuring huevos rancheros or asado with eggs or their green chili stew. And you can't forget their award-winning green chili cheeseburger, all made from scratch using their finest and freshest ingredients. Open for carryout with curbside delivery or limited dine-in. Just call ahead 624-2111. Martine's Capital Cafe, always pleasing the most refined palate. Open Monday through Saturday from 6 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. at 110 West 4th in Roswell.
If you suffer from pogonophobia, you would not want to attend a party with the following people: Kenny Rogers, Santa Claus, Willie Nelson, the cast of Duck Dynasty, and 2/3 of ZZ Top. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is closing in on 10 o'clock. That's going to do it for us for today's show. If you missed any part, I invite you to check it out at your leisure. Log on to ksvptv.com. Click on the Mornings with Mike Winters channel, and you'll find all of our stuff there. Have an amazing day. We'll talk to you bright and early, 7 a.m. tomorrow. Take care.
Your home for Kim Commando in Roswell. 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. A searing heat wave is gripping much of the U.S. Donna Warder reports.
It's gotten as high as 128 degrees Fahrenheit recently in California's Death Valley National Park. But the tourists come anyway, like Drew Belt of Tupelo, Mississippi.
Usually a breeze is cool. This is not a cool breeze whatsoever.
Officials say one visitor to the park died Saturday from heat exposure, and another person was hospitalized. But you don't have to visit the desert to be exposed to the extreme heat. In Multnomah County, Oregon, Dr. Richard Bruno of the county health department says they're investigating at least 4 deaths that are suspected to have been caused by the heat. I'm Donna Warder.
Meanwhile, many of the millions left without power when Hurricane Beryl crashed in the Houston area now face days without power and air conditioning as dangerous heat threatens that region. A heat advisory in effect through Wednesday in parts of Texas. Also at townhall.com, the House scheduled to vote this week on the Safeguard American Voter Eligibility Act. This GOP-sponsored bill seeks to mandate proof of U.S. citizenship for all federal elections in an effort to prevent non-citizens from voting. Bill-sponsored GOP Congressman Chip Roy of Texas says his bill has solid backing from his fellow Republican colleagues.
We are united behind a simple notion that I think at least 81% of Americans, maybe as high as 87%, depending on which poll you look at, believe in a simple concept, that only American citizens should vote in American elections.
Under the current National Voter Registration Act, individuals attest to their citizenship